minds just go to the
Hello and good evening, everybody! Super Twin, congrats on your first! Awesomer, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. I hope you had a great stream. Thank you for coming by. Let me give you a little shout out here. Here we go. Ooh, you were playing Dragon Quest XI. Nice, I've heard that game's great. And Mana, Scarlet, if I good to see you. I hope you're doing well, Mana. I was watching Mana's Kingdom Hearts stream earlier today and it was a lot of fun. God, can't believe Mickey saved you like 4 times. That was crazy. That was absolutely nuts. You guys should check out Mana's streams for crazy moments like that. And Alex Lee, welcome in. Enjoy your lurk. And Constellation Cygnus, welcome in. Sorry, I tripped on my tongue saying your name there for some reason. And Kazu, hello! Good to see you. And yes, I'm doing well, guys. Cygnus, thank you, and let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. But welcome in, everybody! Hope you're doing great. Oh my gosh, it's busy tonight. I'm not used to this many people being in right at the start of stream. It's kind of nice, though. Kind of exciting about it. You're one of the few to pronounce my name right. Good, good, good. I was like, it probably is like just the actual constellation, but you never know. You never know. Wanted to make sure. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday night. Hope you've had a good day and that you're all doing well. It's so great to have y'all here. We have got something kind of fun on the docket for tonight. We've got something kind of fun going on. The tournament in Naoto. Good to see you guys. Welcome on in. Happy Monday evening. Yes, if you guys need to lurk, definitely feel free to lurk. Tonight is going to be actually a pretty, lurk-friendly stream if that's something you need to do anyways, because we're reading a visual novel on stream tonight, or at least the demo for one. I was contacted a little bit ago by the devs of Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea Amaranthine Moon, which is what we'll be playing the demo for tonight. We're pretty much gonna be looking at the demo from that. They asked if I could read it on stream since you know I've done a couple other visual novels and a couple other Otome and VN demos before, and I took a look at their Kickstarter and I was like, this seems really up my alley. This really seems like, something that is very much up my alley. It is a Victorian vampire mystery romance, which, checks off so many things on my personal boxes. So I was like, yes, I'll play this, 100%. You don't have to ask me twice. I will do it. So yeah, I scheduled it in pretty fast because their Kickstarter has less than 48 hours left. So I was like, let's spread the word. They have hit their funding goal, which is awesome. They're definitely going to be able to make the game, but, more funding's always good. I did see when I was first looking, they got some stretch goals on there, so that could be fun. I am just gonna make a quick pin message with the link for you guys. Gonna pin that. Okay, unable to pin. Something went wrong. Thank you, Twitch. Mana, is there any chance that you can pin my message or copy and paste it and make your own message and pin it? That would help. Thank you so much. Oh my god, you're a lifesaver. You're such a lifesaver. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my god. Thank you, Mana. You're the best. Oh gosh, I was like, no, I need this pinned. I want this pinned for this stream. The whole point is supporting the Kickstarter. I want the link to always be there. But yeah, we're gonna be supporting them and taking a look at the demo of the game and just kind of getting a feel for its first couple hours. I did take a little look into these devs. They're ones I'd heard of before. They mostly do like BL visual novels, so this is one of their few otome visual novels. If you're not super familiar with the term otome, oh, thank you for the head pat, Shizu, thank you. It basically refers to any sort of like game or dating sim where you play as a female protagonist and you're usually romancing boy characters, but female love interests still fall under the category. The main thing is that it has a female protagonist to be an otome. But enjoy your lurk, Shizu. Hope you have a good one. So yeah, we're just gonna be having a fun little reading stream tonight. So if anybody wants a little bit of an audiobook, that's gonna be kind of tonight's stream. We're gonna be doing some reading, just trying to take in the characters and atmospheres. Maybe I'll commentate if anything catches my eye or interests me or have any thoughts or reactions. But this should be fun. I'm excited to check it out and just see what it's all about. Should be a really fun time. Can't wait to see our mermaid girl kiss a bunch of vampires. Ooh, who knows if the demo lets us get that far, but it would be nice if they did. But I'm just excited. There's already a boy. I read through like the character profiles. There's one of mine. There's one of mine. I'm like, I saw this specific boy and I was like, ooh, he seems like my type. He seems like my type. Also managed to finish the first chapter of the Fate Secret Order fanfic. Oh, nice! I've had a little bit of a busy day, so I haven't had a chance to properly look at it, but I'll try and do that after stream. Very cool that you finished writing the first chapter, Awesomer. That's awesome. Ready to chill and watch? Hell yeah, Kazu, hell yeah. Did I give Kazu a shout out? Did I manage to do that? No, I didn't. Let me shout out Kazu as well. Kazu's got some good taste. He's playing the Trails of Cold Steel games on his channel right now. Y'all should check him out. Ooh, good is what I say when food doesn't agree with me. Me too. Me and my IBS, you know, hot girl summer. It's how it be. It's just how it be sometimes. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking this out. It's always really cool to check out what indie projects people are putting together in fundraising, and just kind of like, yeah, bring some extra eyes onto something that people might not have otherwise known about or been looking at, and kind of get an eye of things, because I love otome games. Did I? I scrolled up. I didn't think I saw it. I sure did. Well, you got a second one. You got a second one because I can't read my own chat. This is what we have mods for, though. It's fine. This is what I have mods for. But yeah, I think it'll be a chill, fun stream. I'm excited to see what you guys in chat think, too. I think that's gonna be a fun aspect of this. Sleepy! How are you doing? Good to see you, Sleepy. I hope you're doing well. You think I can read? Mana, you're a fellow visual novel girly. I hope you can read. You kind of gotta be able to read for those. But guys, you should check out Sleepy. They're super wonderful. They've been doing a lot of we're co-working on their streams because Sleepy is a really talented V artist. Sleepy does so much good art. Sleepy did some really good art for me for Mermaid, and I really still love it. It's one of my favorite pieces. You guys should check them out. You should commission them. You should buy their anniversary merch. You should go support Sleepy. You should go support Sleepy. Just saying. Excited to watch me play? Thank you! What is this reading of? Is it a kind of food you can eat? Oh god. Well, thank god that I read aloud. Could you imagine if this was the one visual novel stream I decided I was just gonna click through quietly? Nah, I'll be doing reading. I got a big glass of water. Not even a glass, I put it in a bottle. I got a big bottle of water here tonight, so hopefully my throat's gonna be good to keep going. Should be an exciting time. I think the one thing that'll be funny is always, I'm not amazing with dude voices. I only have like a couple of them. So that's always fun when playing otomes, because I'm like, the protagonists, the heroines, I can read for them easy. The boys, I'm sitting here like, oh, I boy voice, I'm dude. And I like the Emiya meme. Thank you, Yusuke made it for me. There was the night where she remembered, you know, this is gonna age me, this is gonna date me. She remembered the Bishonen sites where, you know, you could like click a button on this, like, you know, GeoCities ass website and it would like, you know, give you a random image of like an anime Bishonen, and you'd be like, you know, you caught them like Pokemon, and people would save them and be like, look at all the Bishonen I caught. She remembered that, and she was like, okay, I can make these. So she made me an Emiya one. You and me both, I have like 2 masculine voices in me. Yeah, I'm like, it's hard. I can do so many girl voices, but I can't do many masculine voices. But I do my best. I'll just try and, you know, I find it helps if I don't worry so much about, you know, having a deep voice, and I just go for like, okay, what's like the tone and the vibe? We'll go for that. I don't think anybody comes here expecting me to do a perfect Ikemen voice. I don't think that's what anybody walks into my stream hoping for. And thank you for the thirsty mana. Had a little sip there. Yeah, tone and vibe is where it matters. Like, pitch is not the most important thing. For me, it's doing old people. I either get ancient out of breath or have decent old lady impression. Old people are also funny. Those are funny on my throat. That moment when Aqua somehow drops her voice 2 octaves. Dude, I wish I had that much control over my vocals. I've been thinking again about how, like, I'm like, oh man, I would kind of want to take vocal lessons, but it's just time and money. It really is just time and money. But having just more control over my voice, especially for like singing, because I see all my friends doing covers lately, and I'm like, that looks fun, and I feel like I could do a pretty okay cover, but I'm like, man, I feel like if I really practiced and worked at it, I could get even better, but it's just time and money. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Either way, though, I think we're gonna have fun reading. I think it's gonna be a good time tonight, and I'm really excited about it. As I said, there's a boy I'm eyeing. As long as he doesn't do something to make me mad within the beginning of the demo, I think we're gonna be trying to beeline for him. But we'll see. Maybe one of the other boys will, like, charm me. Maybe it'll be like, you know... Oh gosh, the best otames are always ones where you have a hard time figuring out which dude you want to go for, which one's your favorite. Already eyeing someone, the game hasn't started. I read the character profiles and one sounded like my type! The audible disappointment of an audience expecting Aqua to sound like a sentient pair of yo-yos. Yeah, it's one of my hidden skills, you know? I'd love to hear you sing covers, even if it's just a karaoke stream. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun. I know, I keep being like, I should try a karaoke stream just to, like, you know, get over the nerves of it, because I think I get a little anxious about it, but I think if I do just one karaoke stream, then from there it'll get a lot easier, and I'll be like, okay, that was fine, that wasn't that bad. But it's just working up the nerve and stuff and picking songs that I feel confident in, so even if I get nervous, I know I can kind of keep going and push through it. But it's something that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking a lot about it. I have been in a couple of group covers, but no solos. I'm like, man, I should try for a solo, or even just like a duet or a trio or something. One of these days, we'll try and figure it out. Even just like recording and putting out covers is time and money too, so it's like, you know, I'm starting that new day job later this week, and we'll look at where my budget's at once I'm getting some better paychecks regularly. That'll also be a deciding factor. Yeah, I know nothing about this game, so I can't wait to find out who your type is, because that will also be my type. True! Guys, if you don't know this about me and Mana, we have, like, almost scarily the same type. I think, like, a ton of stuff that we're both into, a lot of the times we walk out of it with the same favorite, like, characters, which is so funny. It's so funny. It's just, but it's nice, because it's like, oh man, I know that if I want to talk about a character and Mana has played, like, the same game or watched the same show, I can probably go to her. Yeah, it's like 9 out of 10 times. I think, like, it has not been very often that we've differed, and even when we differ, we're still like, oh yeah, I still like that character, I just like this other one a little bit more. It's one of those things. So that makes her very fun to talk to. Only time I can think is 999. True, yeah, and again, it's still a case of, like, we both like each other's favorite 999 characters. We just, you know, we just slightly lean more to a different one. Alright, I think we should switch on over to the gaming screen. I think it's about time we switch on over. Let me move on over here, and we'll turn on the music. I will say, it is very quiet on the screen, like this. It's turned up, at least in my volume mixer, as high as it can go. Just in general, it seems like this title screen music is very quiet. So if you can't hear it super well, that's probably not a reason to worry. I could double check the preferences. We could turn it up just a bit, make sure you guys can hear stuff. But if it gets way loud, maybe this is just a quieter track. We could always go back and turn it down. Always the fun of playing a new game on stream for the first time. It's always like, okay, what's the overall volume gonna be like? Is the title screen a good representation, or is this, louder or quieter? I remember the Great Ace Attorney was like crazy for that because that had such loud title screen music, and then it did not match the rest of the game. So every time I was like, yeah, it's gonna be really loud while we're on the title screen, but it's fine. It's fine. But alright, let's go ahead and probably just get on into this. I blame Sholmes. True, everything bad that ever happens is Sholmes' fault. That's just how it is. I've always wondered how slow time feels for adult vampires. For the fleeting time I was a vampire as a child, it was like a never-ending summer afternoon. Oh, I like this painty background. I always like when visual novels get a little bit more creative with their text placement. It's always just nice to see. Just, it adds a little bit of flavor. Some days I could play the day away with no heed for the time. I could explore every room in the manor thrice over, running from every corner to the next. Other days, the hours slinked by, every second dripping by slower than the last. Even the shades couldn't shield the manor from the oppressively sticky heat of summer. Every step felt slower than the last. But for adults, is it that same feeling? Of being stuck indoors during the longest summer day of the year? Or is it more akin to sitting in a backed-up doctor's office, or watching the fire crackle during the first snow of the year, or waiting on a train that's forever delayed? It's annoyingly introspective thoughts like this that creep their way in as I have nothing to do but watch the grandfather clock tick closer and closer to the half-hour mark. Ooh. I like these backgrounds. They look like they're probably photos that have been filtered, but I really like the filter they've put on them. And in general, I am one of those people. I know some people don't like filtered photos for visual novel backgrounds, but I'm actually a huge fan of them. I don't know. In every visual novel I've played that has some, I'm always like, oh hell yeah, this is it. This is a vibe. I really like them. A whole half hour I've sat here waiting. For nobody, apparently. All of the cordial letters and handcrafted gem samples I'd been sent were a sham. Or a prank. Once we agreed to meet in person to finalize the business proposal, he hightailed it elsewhere. I clenched the body of my dress. The clock chimes in mockery of me. Not even a servant has so much as entered the room or hallway to inform me of his tardiness. As the grandfather clock's chime echoes in the room, I glance outside. The day is almost over, but there's still some daylight left. Time better spent outside than in here. I ease my shoulders, promptly standing, and I leave. Good, they were rude. Get out of here. I was also very excited about this heroine, because I think her design is extremely cute. She's got the bow in her hair, she's got ruffles, she's got a pretty dress. Those are all some of my favorite things. I am one of those people who sometimes even more so than the boys in the, otome games, I am sometimes a bigger fan of the heroines. My favorite otome is probably Code Realize. I have maybe one piece of merch of a guy from that game. The rest I have is of the heroine. I love her. She's my favorite. I think I feel very similarly with Collar X Malice is another one where I was like, I stan the heroine. I love this girly. I love her and I want to see her be happy. Even if I do really like the guys, you know what I mean? So, having a good heroine in Otome is always a good way to get me in, and I'm excited to get to know her, because, yeah, she's got a very me design. I like her a lot right off the bat, just for that. The nerve of him, to gush about how interested he was in my business proposition, to boast about how perfectly handcrafted his gems were, only to stand me up. If another letter from him arrives, I'm tossing it in the fireplace. I trudged down an alleyway, not wanting to hit the crowds walking down the main street in the broad daylight. At this time of day, the sun feels its brightest and most headache-inducing. The back alleys, however, are always a pleasant source of shade in an area of town devoid of trees. The shade is perfect on a hotter day like this. But they're also perfect for hiding people. A darkened figure tags along about a block's length from me. I skip to another alley. He follows. I press against the wall as I pass by a few workers in another alley, turning at an intersection while I'm obscured behind them. He still follows. I'll have to do something more drastic. I double back to the first alley, making a long circle, well, square, to get there without running into him. The stairwell of the building juts out just enough to hide myself with, so I lay in wait there for my pursuer. No one appears from around the corner. Maybe he gave up already. Was that a flintlock? I lean forward to look down the alleyway, but something tugs on my hair ribbon. Hey! What do you think you're doing? Giving chase? Looks more like you're running around and up to no good. You're no fun. What are you doing out so early? I wanted to check on things and nobody was around. I skip past him. Hey! Come on, I want dinner. He didn't show up, did he? He must have thought he was too good for my offer. He'll see he can't get far without my help. I grit my teeth. I can feel Nemo looking at me with pity. Alright, let's go home. I turned back to grab his arm, but instead I met with a hand pushing down my head. Hey! Sorry he was a no-show. We'll find a better fit soon. Just don't try to rush these things. It's not like I'm gonna kick you out. You don't even own the place, you moocher. I'm not a moocher. What's his is mine. That's how marriage goes. For someone who avoided commitment like the boogeyman, he sure is bragging about it a lot now. Well, good for Nemo. Come on, let's go home. He lends me an arm, leading us out of the alley. Okay, I see. I was curious because I was like, oh, Nemo wasn't like one of the 3 romanceable guys that were listed, so I was like, is he just a friend? I'm like, oh, okay, he's already married. That makes sense. The floorboards creak underneath our feet as we step down the hallway to our flat. Darkened wood lines every wall, making the space feel shades darker than it actually is. Most of the other residents should be home by now, winding down for the day. But more so than the sounds of our footsteps, the melody of a violin permeates through the hall. It's soft and cautious, each note more careful than the last. You can practically imagine someone reading from sheet music while playing the notes. It's a really polite way of saying they're not very good. There's something a bit relaxing about it, not overwhelmingly loud, but rather something that's rested into the background. The piece echoes through the walls, making it hard to tell where it's coming from. As we near our own flat, though, the notes stop. I sigh to myself that we won't be able to hear it at dinner. Aw. Ooh, whoa! This is a fancy-looking guy. He's got the rich boy ponytail. Rich boy side pony. I'm sorry to hear about that. I've heard so many good things about him. He's the jeweler who made my brooch and cravat, after all. Maybe something urgent came up. I'm sure you'll hear from him in the next day or two. I don't know, he didn't even send a servant by. How dare he? Sending all those buttery letters only to stand you up? You act like it was a marriage proposal. It's a serious crime, that's what it is. It's not that either. It's a nuisance. I stab the pork chop on my plate. They're all suddenly more interested in eating their own meals. The food is rather good, thanks partially to the cooking classes Ambrose is taking. It just doesn't sit well with me. Not tonight. I ate quickly, leaving a little under half of it still on the plate before heading to my room. Oh, fair, you got stood up at a business meeting. I'd be in a real bad mood, too. I would not be happy either, girl. Moonlight slinks through the blinds and across the floorboards. It bounces off of my mirror just right to hit my eyes. I must have fallen asleep right after dinner. I don't usually take naps so late in the day. Everyone kisses in this very clear otome. True. I push myself up on my bed, rubbing my eyes. It may be nighttime now, but I don't think I was asleep for very long. I can hear noises from the other room, so Nemo and Ambrose are still awake. Something on my nightstand glints out of the corner of my eye. It's my bottle of pills. Oh? A modern marvel of medicine to some and an expensive hoax to others, emeralds refined to the size of a pill have been found to be a cure for vampirism, effectively negating a vampire's heightened abilities and their dependence on blood. Oh! If they're actual emeralds, how expensive would this have to be? Are they just giving them out for free? That's kind of crazy. Just the right size, they can be digested and dissolved into a person's body. Any larger and they can be poisonous to vampires who are weak to precious gems. Taking pills regularly can turn any person, no matter how long they've been a vampire, back into a human. But only if they keep up the intake on a regular basis. While they're not a perfect cure and are rather expensive to acquire at a small scale, they are an effective one. I haven't had to drink blood in years. Wow. So she's been taking these for years, though. I assume if she's still having to take them, then she's probably not turned back into a human yet. Wonder how long you have to. I also haven't had the use of my heightened physical abilities in years. Look, I don't care what you do as an adult. If you want to be a vampire, then fine. But I want you to wait until you're old enough to make that decision before all of your friends start aging faster than you. I'm turning 18 this month. I'm old enough to make my own decisions. I don't need my brother to keep looking out for me. Oh, he's her brother. I see. Oh, whoa, okay. Ooh, we're making this choice already. That's interesting because I feel like I don't really know the pros and cons. I think we're gonna start off, we're gonna take the pill for now. I'm assuming we might have chances to change our mind if it feels like the right choice, but I think, knowing so little, let's take these pills so just in case we decide we do want to be a human, she doesn't have to start all over. That's at least my thought process. That's what I would think of it. I screw off the top and drop a tiny emerald pill into my palm. It's small enough to go inside a ring. Instead, I pop it into my mouth. So that animation was really cute. I may have been a vampire for a brief time, but I'm fine staying human for a little while longer. I'm not ready to age slower than everyone else just yet. I take one last glance at the bottle as I stand. There are many people still skeptical about the treatment, but Mr. Douglas was fascinated by it. Precious gems have long been a dangerous poison for vampires despite their staying power and ornate jewelry. The thought of using them for medicinal purposes rather than looks or for harm intrigued him. So I thought, him standing me up today was the final nail in that coffin. Oh! I shouldn't spend the rest of the early night hours sleeping or else I'll mess up my sleep schedule. Ugh, yeah, that's always the worst. A midday nap can ruin everything. Nemo and Ambrose are in the parlor, as I figured. Nemo has hogged all of the candles and minimal lights and looks deep in concentration on fixing the radio. Despite the low lightings he's left with, Ambrose is reading the newspaper. With his vampiric sight, he doesn't have the strain to read it. Still, I don't want to be their third wheel the rest of the night. I step out and on the balcony. Oh, hey! Oh. I didn't see you were out here. No, it's all right. Cecil scrambles to his feet, eager to get up off the concrete floor. So, how are you doing? How do you think I'm doing? I can't believe that man. Standing you up like that. We had to tarnish his name. Oh, hell yeah, Cecil, let's go. Let's go. Destroy him socially. He'll tarnish it himself in due time acting like that. Besides, I'm not sure how you of all people would even go about doing something like that. I'll find someone else to work with on it. Maybe I'll reach out to doctors again to gain more public approval before reaching out to manufacturers. I'm sure you can, Lucy. And besides, you can always make Nemo chase after new leads. I think he'd chase them off more than help. He has enough work to do around campus, but he's insistent on going with me to every business meeting, party, and more. I can't tell if he fancies himself my bodyguard or my chaperone. It's not even in his family business. Oh, speaking of which, you'll be dealing with all of this soon enough. Do you think your family has never has to renegotiate anything? That their mining privileges are set in stone? That their workers never ask for pay increases or more benefits? That their merchant deals are lifelong? Soon you'll be going, oh, Lucy, how did you handle all of this? You're so brave to start so young. I already say that. He huffs, turning back to the night sky. For the past few years, he's had little contact with his parents, no more than greeting cards and letters he's forced to write to them just to show he's alive. Instead of living at their manor several hours away by train, he's lived here to attend school to the kindness of Ambrose. Most of our classes are together, as we're both focusing on business so we can take on our family's companies. And yet, sometimes it feels like it's hard to get a proper answer out of him when I inquire about his plans for the future. Probably his heart's probably not really in this, huh? That's interesting, considered, like, well, we can tell already. Lucy already seems very, very gung-ho and very, very, like, you know, on this. She seems motivated, like, this is her passion, she wants to do well in business. I'm getting the vibe Cecil is not that kind of person. Chin up, you'll get to shadow a local business soon enough. You're lucky you don't have to do that. I've got plenty of real-world experience. They'll only let me count it towards classwork rather than letting me finish school early, though. Lucy. His voice is small and short, cutting off his own words almost as quickly as they left him. What is it? Nothing. I reach over and pinch his ear. Ow! It's not nothing if it came to you, so spit it out. It was just stupid thought, but I was wondering if this is really what you want to do. Again, his words drift off the longer he talks. It is. I've had to live off of others' generosity for too long. People who think they owe it to my parents to keep me safe. I want to forge my own path going forward. I want to prove I can be on my own. And what does that say about me? Huh? I'm sure you'll find a good business partner before long, Lucy. After a moment, it's clear he intends to leave the conversation at that. Yeah, damn. Cecil's family is from newer money, having made their living from mining operations for precious gems. While his ancestors may have sweated it out in the mines, the current generations live by signing deals with property owners, negotiating labor work, refining the gems, and more. The idea of an opportunity has not been lost on me. Every time I bring it up or even mention it, however, he lets the conversation drop. Oh, interesting. So at first I was about to be like, oh, is like his family's company where she's getting the gems from? I guess not. Huh. At least, it's a nice night out here, isn't it? Match his gaze. Far beyond the rooftops, stars dot the sky above us. They shine back at us vibrantly, almost twinkling. I don't want to be so dependent on others anymore. I just want to build something myself. Ah. For all the prestige and respect they hold, the towering spires of Prudhoe University do nothing to keep the sun from my eyes. The morning glare is so consistent and forceful that most students go out of their way to take the long way around to the east entrance to avoid it. You would think the sun could be more considerate and less intrusive, given the number of vampires working and learning on campus. As for Cecil and myself, we often avoid the problem entirely by winding through the gardens and taking shortcuts that only make sense when you're setting out from the headmaster's apartment. How infuriating. I should be drafting contracts and celebrating now. A rough sigh escapes me, more a sign of exhaustion than anything I'm expecting out of the day ahead. My classes will provide a moment's distraction at the very least. I need to keep my focus sharp and find another prospect quickly. In the future, once Cecil takes over his family's business, we can form a partnership and build a more secure chain of supply. There's no chance that while his father's in control, unfortunately. Oh! Wonder what's going on with his father. Like, I was guessing when they said Cecil doesn't really talk to his family, maybe they're not the best people, but... If I recall correctly, Helm's family owns a series of retail establishments. I have no idea what business they're in exactly, but if he has some connections... Ambrose is also meeting with the university board soon, if I'm not mistaken. There are several prominent businessmen among the board, including at least 2 wholesalers and a renowned doctor. Perhaps I could convince Ambrose to arrange a meeting with at least one of them. Wait, Lucy! Aw, look at him in his little coat and glasses. Cecil, what are you doing back there? Well, to start, I saw that stray cat that's been wandering around campus lately, and then by the time I tried to get your attention, you'd gotten this far ahead of me. You know that cat won't pay you any mind no matter how many slices of roast chicken you leave out for it. I wasn't trying to bribe it, I just wanted to show you, but you move so fast when you're lost in thought. I've not much choice in the matter, thanks to recent events. I'll have it sorted out swiftly enough. You definitely will. You'll have all the merchants in the city begging to partner with you before long. And someday I'll be saying the same to you. This doesn't come as easily for me as it does for you, Lucy. He smiles, but I know him too well to leave it at that. He's been so unsure of himself lately, but Cecil's more than capable of keeping pace with me even if he doubts it himself. He was up rather late last night, though. It's not often I see him so easily distracted either. I'll have to ask him about it later. Cecil has been my best friend since we were children, and he always rushes to support me, even when it puts him in danger. Aww. I only hope he isn't wearing himself ragged trying to keep up with me now. Alright, yeah, we got the childhood friend. I see. The university gardens are always immaculate. Students and professors alike meander through its hedges, rushing between classes or taking leisurely strolls. It's also haunted, if you believe the rumors spun from mistaken sightings of marble statues in the dead hours of the night. 5 years prior, a series of vampire attacks terrified the campus and kept most from venturing out after dark. I suppose the classroom rumors are a sign of Prideaux's recovery from that incident. Interesting. Very interesting. Instead of a ghost, however, I see a tall, pale face beneath the lilac blossoms. Good, I need to catch him before class begins. Are you admiring the flowers, or have you been waiting for us here? Oh, Lucy. Hey, what's up, pretty boy? I've shared a class with Elm for half a year now, and he saved both Cecil and I countless headaches in that time. For all the expertise and wisdom kept in these hallowed halls, most of our professors are dead set on explaining things in the most obtuse and unreasonable ways imaginable. I liked that little pan there, too. That's also fun. Nice way to keep things visually interesting, especially for, you know, clearly a love interest reveal. Elm has a keen talent for translating all of their theoretical jargon into a language anyone can grasp. His family has several holdings in retail business outlets, though now that I think more on it, I don't know much about what they do or where their money comes from. It's very easy to forget the details like that when we talk. He always listens intently, and he's consistently surprising even our professors with his insights. Not that you'd know from the detached air about him. No matter what the situation, Elm can always set someone at ease. Most often, I think, by taking much of their unease onto himself. Do you have a moment before the professor arrives? I'd like to speak with you about... I'm sorry. His voice is brittle. It's usually hard to read any of his expressions, but right now he's clearly preoccupied. So he's like Artem? Oh yeah, from Tears of Temis? Maybe, yeah. Not today. What? I'm not in a sound state today. Do you feel unwell? You look the part, no doubt. Whoa, Lucy! No, I like her. She's funny as hell. I like that she's a little bit abrasive and rude. It always makes kind of for a fun heroine. He shakes his head. Lucy, there's something I'll tell you later. Wait, just a minute now. Before I can ask him what's on his mind, he ducks into the classroom and makes his way to a desk. Lucy, what was Elm saying? He seems out of sorts. I'm not sure. It's almost as if he was in shock. Something happened to him? You don't think he's caught a summer cold, do you? I almost hope it's as simple as a passing sickness, but I've never seen that heaviness in Elm's eyes before. The professor's on her way. Lucy, let's head inside. Yes. Elm trudges ahead and sits down in the back corner of the classroom, far from his usual seat near Cecil and I. Oh. Damn. I may not get another chance to speak with Elm until after class. Asking about his family business can wait. I won't leave one of my friends languishing like that. Aw. Though I'll admit it's often hard to read his expressions. Maybe it would be a bad idea to press him on anything now if he's feeling unwell. My nose wrinkles and I force myself to follow along with the professor's droning. I'm pretty sure that when I was looking at the character profiles, Elm is the one who I was like, ooh, could be my type. A little distant, a little hard to read. That's crazy. That's crazy. Finding Elm after class proves more troublesome than anticipated. He excused himself partway through the lecture and never returned, and now I've not an inkling of where he might be. I doubt he's avoiding me in particular, but it does seem as though he's avoiding everyone. In which case, why would he have come to class today at all? That's crazy! What's going on in his head? Maybe I gotta drag it out of him. I sigh and pace through the campus gardens, borrowing the shade from the hedgerows as I consider whether I should keep up the search or let Elm be and turn my focus elsewhere. Brother just dips. Yeah, class ended and he just got out of there. He's like, I'm out. Perhaps I ought to reach out to another jeweler, though, if Douglas calls on me again. Well, he's had his chance. Oh, Lucy, is there another villain in need of reprimand? It's nothing that drastic. I'll have it all sorted out before long, provided that my brother doesn't fuss over me every step of the way. He's showing his concern as best he knows how. You finished your classes for the day, haven't you? I happen to have a free moment, and I was planning to take a walk into town. I'd be delighted to have you join me. Ambrose offers me his elbow and the space beneath his parasol, a gentle but nonetheless insistent invitation. It's far more considerate than his husband. Honestly, Nemo could at least ask before showing up to herd me like a wandering goat. Damn. I do always think it's funny when it's like, you know, sibling, fuck them. That jerk, even if you love them, but like your sibling's partner? Yeah, they're so much better than them. What the heck? Why are they together? That's always a funny, like, dynamic to me. I take Ambrose's arm and fall into step alongside the headmaster as he walks beneath the university's grand archway and toward the center of town. I was considering that myself. I won't refuse the company, though I can't stay for long. You won't have to worry on my account. I have only a few moments to spare before my next meeting as well. It's been considerably mild as of late, though I hear there's a storm coming in off the coast. I really misread that as it's been considerably mid of late, and I was like, oh god, that is not the line. Perhaps I should ask Nemo to fix the window shutters instead of tending to the loose floorboards in the storage hall. The last meeting went well, I take it? Was it the entire board of trustees, or just the representative? My, Lucy, you're more perceptive than some of the faculty. Ambrose closes his eyes and smiles softly, which I've come to know as a sign of resignation. I know he would rather we wander aimlessly and take this time to distract ourselves from business, but I can't let even a narrow possibility slip away. Yes, the board met earlier than usual. The storm I mentioned will make the roads unfit for travel, and many of them have business outside of Laurenburg. I don't doubt that you're curious about the manner of business they each maintain, but I can already assure you that they won't be receptive to your ideas. At least not yet. How could you know that for certain? I may not have graduated yet, but if any of them have any good sense... It isn't a matter of good sense, Lucy. Ambrose sighs as we turn to the busy town square, the sun-battered awnings and ivory-covered eaves keeping us in the cool shade. If I thought any of them might be viable business partners or even simple investors, I would have introduced you already. In truth, most of them are keenly interested in the prospect of a cure for vampirism, and their interest hasn't waned over the years. And that's exactly why I'd like to speak with them. They're each from well-established and influential families with ties to industry across the region, are they not? Lucy, they are interested, but they're even more cautious of anyone proffering a miracle treatment. Yeah, that's kind of fair, you know? I feel like you can't just, declare that without, having a pretty good amount backing it up, you know? Because that's a pretty big deal to claim that you have a cure for that. You gotta have something to prove that you're worth what you're selling. It's too soon. I promise you that I'll arrange a meeting with the head of the Tradesmen's Guild once you have more momentum, but rushing now would only make them skeptical of your ideas. Do you really think I couldn't convince them? I'm living proof, after all. What room could they have for doubt when I'm testing the cure on myself? Ambrose pauses in the center of the street and the crowd parts around us, as if we're standing on a small boulder in the middle of a rushing stream. One of our trustees is also the head of a trade guild. Years ago, his only son took ill while accompanying him on a business trip. The child had a weak constitution already, and his father feared that this new wasting cough and fever might kill him. In his desperation, he listened to doctors, healers, apothecaries, and even a few spiritualists who claimed to have divined a prescription through automatic writing. His son's condition worsened, always seeming to improve only for his fever to soar even higher after each treatment. Ooh. Desperation drives us to take great risks. Eventually, he agreed to let a surgeon perform an experimental procedure on his son, and the results were not good. His son survived, and eventually the doctors discovered a tincture that could help treat his condition, but that surgery left him without the use of his right hand. This day, the boy's father blames himself for his son's injury. Yeah, it would be hard not to. It's a tough situation. When you're considering an unknown disease, an inconvenient blemish, or even something largely beneficial like vampirism, largely beneficial, huh? People like him are too cautious of any potential miracle cure to throw support behind anything unproven. That's hardly the same. I have proof, and you and the others can vouch for its authenticity. Truth won't be enough if they don't have the heart to trust it. A gentle smile on his face is so infuriating. Unlike my brother, Ambrose is always forthcoming and carefully crafts his arguments. He's always respected my ambition and my talents, which is why I hate it when he's right about things like this. Aw. Want to argue, but you know he's right. The old merchants and business owners aren't often swayed by proof alone, Lucy. They want to see the flow of people and markets before they act. It's not enough that medicine works. They also want to make sure people will trust it, doctors will prescribe it, and suppliers can procure it. I wonder if it would be worthwhile to stop taking my pills, just long enough to use my blood arts again. All I need to do is prove that I'm a vampire, and then... No, I need something more reliable than that. I can feel my grip tighten around Ambrose's arms, but he says nothing. Relaxing again, I take a step forward, and he matches my pace. Someday, I'm certain it will be as simple for a vampire to become a human as it is to alter the physical changes of adolescence. The trustees are all people of great influence, and I promise that in time they will believe you. There's no need to rush. You'll make progress faster if you pace yourself. Thank you for your advice and your concern. I'm more than comfortable at this pace, however. I'll have the groundswell I need to speak with bigger investors soon enough. Speaking of which, have you not heard anything from Douglas yet? He seems worried, far more than I expected he would be over hearing about a missed appointment. Unfortunately, I can't afford such sympathies right now. Not a word, but it hardly matters. I won't waste any more ink on unreliable cads like him. It's concerning. I could understand if he didn't contact you yesterday evening, but to ignore you into the afternoon. Perhaps he's taken ill. We aren't far from his offices if you'd like to stop in. A waste of time, I expect. Thank you, though. I am grateful in spite of the circumstances. Ambrose could hardly bear any blame for a jeweler's negligence, though I'm sure he feels some responsibility since he's the one who vouched for Douglas as a trustworthy prospect. I'll consider it once I've taken care of other business. I'm sure it's a simple misunderstanding. A bell chimes above to mark the quarter hour. Ambrose waits patiently as the sound fades into the din of the town square, then gestures back toward the university. It seems I'm out of time, unfortunately. I've got another appointment soon, so I'll be heading back. Are you returning to the campus as well? No, I think not. I'll see you tonight at dinner, Ambrose. Of course, it should be a crown of lamb, provided I'm not held up by the faculty. Goodbye for now. Bye. Ambrose turns and I let the shadow of his parasol slip away, leaving me in the sun. The afternoon crowds have filled the town square, with laborers and tradesfolk winding through the bakeries and market stands on their lunch break. Carriage wheels and newly shod horses leave a dull staccato in the air as they pass one another in the street. Shop bells ring one after another. A large fountain babbles conversationally to the people gathered around it, and in the distance a small crowd applauds. I consider that Douglas's office is on the far end of the square, but the sound of the violin catches my ear. Is that what warranted the applause I heard? There's something both immediately familiar and uncanny. I've never heard this song before, and certainly never in this place, but the melody feels eerily nostalgic. I suppose a skilled performer can evoke all sorts of emotions in their audience. Let's see what sort of person this fiddler is. Quick triplets and rich vibrato echo through the plaza, but actually seeing past the gathered crowd is becoming a hassle. A group of taller men in particular stand right in the middle, and I've half a mind to drag them to the back of the audience. There are people behind you, you dolts. Oh my god, yeah. This is how I feel when I go to a concert and, like, tall people push in front of me. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm shorter than you. Come on. I reach forward to pry the wall apart when the fiddler strikes a sharp chord and leaps up onto the fountain's edge. Who's this mysterious masked man? They raise their violin up and their fingers dance across its neck. The audience claps to keep time. A bubbling warmth rises in my chest and I can't look away. They wear a mask, but they're clearly quite handsome. Their slicked back hair shines in the afternoon sun and their hands cradle their instrument with a fierce delicacy. And the sound, I don't know where they were trained, but they're bursting with energy as if they can't help but draw their bow across the strings. It's enchanting. I've attended a fair number of performances in my life, from full chamber orchestras to unaccompanied singers in a roadside tavern. It's been years since I've heard a performance so desperate and impassioned as this. Bro thinks he's Michael Myers, oh god. You kinda do got the mask, huh? It's almost as if they're gasping for breath and that violin is the only air they can breathe. Finally, the middle-aged man barring my path steps aside, and I move a bit closer to the front for a better look at this masked fiddler. Our eyes meet for a moment behind their mask. Their bow hangs for a half-beat too long, and they hop back down to finish the song. Before I can find them again, a round of applause rings out and the people around me plead for an encore. The clasps of an instrument case clicks shut. Are they leaving already? I need to get their name at the very least. A musician with that level of passion and talent could do better than busking in the square. And I wouldn't mind hearing them play privately for me either. She's about to be like, oh wait, I'm hiring you. Wait. There's no path forward. Eventually the crowd breaks and people start dispersing in a dozen directions. By the time I reach the fountain's edge, the masked fiddler is gone. No! Where did that handsome masked man go? I sigh to catch my breath. That's likely for the best. I almost let myself get carried off track. Handsome musicians are a hazard in many ways. I wonder what the business prospects are like for the agents and representatives of popular performers. Aren't you taking on enough work already as it is? I I'm more capable than I was when I was a child, Nemo. More capable of running yourself ragged, maybe. I glower at him. And what have you come into town to fetch? Nemo lifts up a bundle of meat wrapped in butcher's paper. A crown, apparently. Come on, I'll walk you back unless you've still got business here. No. I sigh and let my shoulders sink. Let's go, then. I'm getting hungry. You know this is for dinner, right? Don't worry, I'm not going to eat your husband's crown. Nemo holds his arm out and I take it as we move through the din of afternoon traffic. In a short while, we'll be back at the apartment, and I'll need to start drafting more inquiries and preparing samples. I'll consider what Ambrose said earlier. If I can secure a reliable supply of gems, then I can prove the treatment's effectiveness more easily. The evening will pass uneventfully, and by week's end, I'll forget all about Douglas's audacity and insult. I don't know, I'm starting to be like, maybe something happened to Douglas, man. Maybe something happened to him, because if Ambrose is like, oh, hey, that's weird, he didn't contact you at all, I'm like, oh, if there's something going on there. Oh boy, but that calm, unremarkable future doesn't come to pass. As we wind through the square and emerge from an alley, I catch a glimpse of the building where Douglas keeps his office. Oh, as a 5 police officers are gathered around the open doorway in a huddle while other officers filter in and out of the narrow hallway. Yeah, guys, I think something happened to Douglas. You know, I'm just picking up the little hints that have been scattered here, the very... I think something happened to Douglas. Stray phrases catch my ear. One officer says, he's already been here a few hours. Another says something like, already going cold. Found him earlier today, possibly since... Damn. Carriage rumbles past and drowns the rest of the phrase. A chill sweeps over me and my feet pull me toward the ominous chatter. No reassurance or comfort are waiting for me in that office, nor in overhearing the officers outside. Even so, I walk closer. A rush of foot traffic floods into the street as passengers head for the train platform. In the chaos, it's easy to slip away and duck behind an oncoming carriage before Nemo can even notice I'm gone. You're not even gonna tell him? Okay, I guess. The clock chimes at the top of the hour a moment before I reach the doorway. Outside, the police are still chattering about how hard it will be to cordon off the area and turn away gawkers, like me. They don't seem too concerned with all the people passing in and out of the main building, though. It's almost embarrassing that I can slip in so casually without drawing a second glance. Douglas's office occupies the ground level of a fairly new yet imposing building close to the center of Laurenburg. See if the neighbors have heard anything first, and then finish documenting the scene. Yes, sir! And you there, check the locks on all the windows for tampering. This one's looking a lot like the Fairfield case. I hear an officer's voice coming from an open doorway to my left. He continues, but I can't follow his words anymore. My eyes fall to the prone, rigid form draped across a sofa near the back of the room. One of the officers steps aside, and the face of a corpse stares back at me with gaunt and glassy eyes. Well, that's not good. The officer's chatter confirms my fear. The man I was supposed to meet yesterday evening is lying dead in his office with blood caked around his lips and staining his tie. Ooh, on his lips, huh? Was he poisoned, maybe? Someone there? Clear out, this is a crime scene, no gawkers! My legs move before I can think clearly. Douglas is dead? How? When? The nearest doorknob is already in my hand. Good, it's unlocked. Our business partner, no! My shin slams into a low table and I tumble backward into an armchair. Sunlight stains my eyes, as if I hadn't suffered insult enough, and then my vision adjusts. I've often felt the unnerving sensation of reliving memories in a dream. It's never happened to me in the waking world, though. My grandfather's clock chime echoes through the room. I glance outside and the sun is still high above the rooftops. I clench the hem of my dress. I'm back in the same seat I occupied less than a day ago, waiting to finalize a business deal with the man now lying dead less than a dozen feet away. My mind swirls and my memories fray. Was Douglas already dead by the time I arrived last night? Did he die while I waited here, never realizing? On the way in, I saw 5 coppers, and inside, 3, maybe 4 others? My breath catches in my throat. Natural deaths, no matter how tragic, don't draw this level of scrutiny. Murder. I'd like to be overreaching and leaping to unreasonable conclusions, but I can still recall the odd figure I chased through the alleyways last night. True, that is weird. Did they see me? Did they know I was here? Was Douglas being killed as I sat in this chair? Stray syllables leak out of the neighboring room, but I can't hear anything complete. If I press my ear to the wall, though... Who's there? I tear my face from the wall and grip the arms of the chair so firmly that my nails nearly rip the upholstery. Hit him with the chair. Oh, wait, no. That's all. Don't hit him with the chair. We like out. Oh, my apologies. I wasn't aware anyone else had an appointment today. This is crossing over into the absurd. Why is Elm here, and why has he changed his outfit completely since he was in class? I hope you've not been waiting long. No, I only arrived moments ago. Good, I can pour you some tea if you'd like. No, thank you, if I may ask. Go right ahead. What exactly are you doing here? Yeah, dude, you're acting pretty normal. Elm smirks. He has never smirked. At least not that I've seen, huh? I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, if I may. Whoa! He reaches forward, and before I can stop him, he's reaching my fingers to his lips. Whoa! Elm! You've met my brother. I'm sorry for the confusion. Brother? Elm never mentioned having a brother, let alone a twin. Why wouldn't he have brought that up? Ayo. Despite the circumstances, I'm charmed to make your acquaintance. I'm Rowan, currently the head of my family's business and estate as of this morning. At a glance, he looks just like Elm, but the air around him is completely different. With a slight smirk tugging at his lips to the confidence in his posture, he holds himself with incredible assertiveness and poise. I allow him to take my hand in a greeting, but I can barely keep track of what he says. Elm is his brother? Mr. Douglas was their father? Oh, shit, their dad? Their dad's dead? Oh, that's crazy. To explain Elm's behavior earlier, he must be grief-stricken, but meanwhile his brother doesn't betray a trace of sadness. Why didn't Elm mention his twin to me? And why is Rowan taking all of this in such an easy stride? Oh, this just got juicy. This got kind of crazy. Pleased to meet you, Rowan. My name is Lucy, and I'm sorry for your loss. It's unfortunate, yes, but I've already had time to grieve. It only took me like 20 minutes. Hated that guy. More importantly, I've been settling my father's outstanding business, and I do hope you're still interested in pursuing our options together. At that, he closes his hand around mine and flashes a reckless grin. How brazen. I can see he takes after his father in that regard. I'm relieved that you came by. I saw one of your recent letters among my father's papers, and I was hoping to run into you eventually so that I might apologize in person and hear your proposal. I'm relieved to hear it. About your father. Rowan shakes his head, sullen but not unsettled. My father put his work first at all times, even to the detriment of his health. He kept unreasonable hours and regularly worked himself to the point of exhaustion at his desk. So in a way, I've been expecting this to happen almost every day for years. Man, it looked like he coughed up blood. I don't know, you're acting like way too unbothered. The amount of cops too, I'm like, little sus here. You're the sussy love interest, aren't you? A colleague of ours also died under suspicious circumstances recently, so I'm sure the coppers are just taking every precaution. I think that they should. That's extra suspicious if you ask me, man. Why are you so chill about this? I think my father was always in the greatest danger from himself. My condolences. A writhing, coiling knot rises in my stomach. I'm still reeling from Douglas's death and the prickling unease left by my questions about Elm and Rowan. Is their family business even stable right now? Is Rowan trustworthy? I'll have to sort it out later. At present, I need to know exactly why the police are here in such force, and I doubt that figure fleeing the scene last night was just a harmless bystander. Yeah. Keep your wits about you, Lucy. If you have everything in order, shall we continue discussions of our potential partnership? Unfortunately, the day after tomorrow is the earliest I could give you the attention you and your ideas deserve. Day after tomorrow. That's acceptable. Thank you for understanding. Even though I fully expected my father to work himself into an early grave, I'll need a bit more time to make arrangements for his burial. Ron smiles easily, but despite his confidence and aplomb, he can't hide the crooked knot in his tie or straight loose buttons on his cuff. I wonder if he's taking his father's death worse than he appears. Honestly, if that's it, I'll be relieved. I would be relieved. Though I still don't see why the police would be so interested in a jeweler's natural death, no matter how untimely. And maybe I'm being a little too harsh. Maybe he's just trying to keep things calm on a public front. Maybe he's trying to just be like, okay, we have to, like, handle this. I can't let, like, rumors get out while the police are still figuring this out. Who knows? You have my sympathies. What time should I meet you, then? You're pretty forward, you know. I'm not fond of delays unless they're absolutely necessary. A woman of ambition and charm. Let's meet at my family's manor after breakfast. It's close to the university and we'll waste less time stepping aside for the coppers. Perfect. I'll look forward to formalizing our partnership then. As will I, Miss Lucy. Rowan bows deeply, raising his face to meet my eyes and flashing that reckless grin of his once more. He certainly inherited his father's sense for flattery. In the window just behind the grandfather clock, I noticed Nemo searching for me among the afternoon crowds. I'm not feeling at ease with the police lingering so close by either, so it's time I head back. Yeah, I wouldn't want to hang around here too much. Thank you again. It's a pleasure to meet you in spite of the circumstances. I'll take my leave. Of course, and we'll speak again soon. Is Marius coded? Yeah, I see it. I leave the small meeting room quietly, then hurry down the hall, slip behind the coppers, and grab Nemo by the arm to pull him into an alley. Oh god, Nemo's probably just been outside the whole time like, oh god, where'd she go? Hey, Lucy, what's going on? Where'd you disappear to? Douglas's office. You couldn't have just told me where you were going? Something caught my attention. Did you notice the suspicious figure I chased through the alleys last night when you found me? Yeah, because that was me. Were you trying to catch a burglar to pass the time? That was you? Well, in any case, it wasn't a burglary. In fact, this whole affair might be more involved than I anticipated. Next thing we know, he's gonna ask us to be his muse, oh god. Only if he's an artist, we'll see. Nemo can be overprotective at times, but he knows when to listen, and he's fairly good at it when the mood strikes him. God, her inner dialogue's so funny. I love how backhanded she is. And so he listens as I tell him everything I saw, the condition of Douglas's body, Rowan's sudden appearance, and the murmurs I heard from the police. They wouldn't be putting this many coppers on the scene if they thought Douglas's death was natural, would they? Probably not. I heard something else too. I look up at Nemo and he returns a pensive glare. I know that look pretty well. He's warning me not to dive headfirst into something dangerous. Too bad. I'll dive in if I want to. You can't stop me, brother. What is it? Heard a detective mention that another jeweler by the name of Fairfield was found dead last week. I feel my breath catch. I know that this could be a coincidence. Maybe the coppers are leaping to conclusions and there's no connection. But if there is, and if two prominent jewelers in Laurenburg died within a week of one another, who could be responsible, and why? We talk about possibilities and contingencies all the way home, not that Nemo knows how to navigate business with the requisite delicacy. We part at the university gates, and for the next several hours until nightfall, I try and fail to find any traces of Elm. Oh god. Yeah, it's the whole city, probably. You're not gonna just find him. I appreciate her attempt, though. What an exhausting day. It feels as though I woke up a full week ago and I've been running without a rest since then. Of everything that happened, though, I find that there's one in particular that won't leave my mind. Ooh, we have so many options. Ooh. What worries could be on Cecil's mind as of late? Elm seemed so distraught. I want to check in on him tomorrow. Rowan and his oddly relaxed demeanor, what is he thinking? That handsome fiddler in the town square. Now we're beelining towards Elm. Following my heart. Elm has been a true friend for some time now, and he's joined Cecil and I on more than a few of our misadventures. Though we met a few years previously, I've gotten to know him even better since we started sharing a class this past spring. I've never seen him so completely at a loss. Yeah, I know what I'm about. What could have kept him from telling us about his family? And that he has a twin brother, even. If I can find him tomorrow after class, I'll make a point to hear him out. There's an uneasy weight in my chest. Elm and Rowan both lost their father last night, and if Elm is feeling anything like what I felt as a child when I learned of my family's fate, oh... Enough of this. Speculation won't help Elm, and it won't get me any closer to understanding what he's going through. I'll speak with him tomorrow, once I've had more time to recover from the shock of today. Thinking any further will only tie my brain into knots, and I've not the time to untangle that. And more than that, even these thoughts can't keep the ghastly image of Douglas's lifeless face from intruding into my memory. Sleep will help. Yes, I'll sleep, and I can only hope that tomorrow is a calmer day. Yeah, it would be hard to recover after unexpectedly seeing a dead body. I don't know what she expected considering what the cops were saying, but curiosity killed the cat, I guess. Nostalgia can be an insidious thing. It's all too easy to hold fondness for the memories when the pain of the moment dulls you and you remember only the simple sweetness and thrill. On particularly bright summer mornings, I catch myself getting wistful as I think about the time I spent darting through empty classrooms on campus, hiding out in haylofts and scouring back alleys while I searched for answers. In spite of any excitement I felt 5 years ago when Cecil and I planned stakeouts to search for my parents' killer, my memory of that time is still stained with tears. Oh man, okay, yeah, definitely sounds like she has been through a lot. Whenever I feel a nostalgic pain as I pass by a classroom and recall the fun I had roaming free in Laurenburg, I remember how many nights I spent crying myself into restless sleep. I don't even remember my parents properly, and just learning of their deaths devastated me. Tears and clenched fists that had bared fangs and reckless adventure all led me to an even more painful answer in the end. Oh? Grief never follows a convenient course, and there are rarely simple villains whose dispatch will close all your open wounds. Elm and Rowan lost their father just hours ago, a father they both knew and spoke to every day. No, perhaps that's not right. I don't actually know anything about Elm's relationship to his family, do I? In all the time we've known one another, he never mentioned that he has a twin or that his father was a prospective business partner of mine. I'm sure I mentioned the deal to him at least once while we were studying after class. Rowan's face keeps coming to mind as well. He was charming, inviting even. If I hadn't seen his father's corpse moments before we met, I might have even had butterflies in my chest. A familiar mixture of confusion, excitement, and mystery on the edge of terror fills in the space between my thoughts again. Interesting, I wonder why Elm would keep everything so private. Sitting at the front of a classroom, I can't keep the whirl of memory and curiosity from distracting me. If Rowan was so unfazed and moved on so quickly from his father's death, was their relationship really that bad? If so, then why is Elm so distraught? Even now I can tell he's barely paying any attention to the professor. If he's close to his father, why has he never mentioned either his family or his sibling? Of course, the most salacious possibility could be true. I already entertained and dismissed the notion that Rowan had killed his father to take over the family business and that Elm was living in fear of what might happen to him in the aftermath. It was my first and immediate suspicion after leaving Douglas's office, but Nemo and I both agreed that it was unlikely, at least. If Rowan were the killer, he could have chosen a far more convenient time and method that would draw less suspicion onto himself. I'm not fully convinced that he is innocent, of course, but I'd like to believe him. Perhaps I'm just extending goodwill to him because of my concern for Elm. That'll be all for today. We'll be discussing the next treatise on currency exchange later this week, and you may call upon me if you have questions in the meantime. Dismissed. Elm, wait there. Yesterday I met your twin, Rowan. Twin brother, truly? Elm, why didn't you tell us? Does he attend school here too? I didn't. There's been a lot happening lately. Yes, I heard about your father. I'm sure you've had your reasons, but why did you keep all that a secret from us? I may be entering into business with your brother, and I want to know. I stop suddenly, and the rails of my thoughts vanish beneath me. What am I expecting of him now? What is it that I really want to know? I don't know. Mom looks exhausted and anxious, and there's a miserable icy weight in the pit of my stomach, and why do I feel so incensed? It's nothing worth mentioning. We should get going. There's another class coming in soon, and... Is that true? Wait a moment, Lucy. Do you mean that scoundrel who stood you up as Elm's father? I'm sorry, I need to go. There's an appointment, and... Elm backs away as he stammers out his words, his eyes never meeting my own. I reach out to grab his shoulder, but he's even quicker than I expected. Oh. There he goes. Leave Cecil and I standing in the midst of other students filtering through the classroom door like water over a weir? A wire? It's the first time I've seen that word. Yes, what is that? What is that word? Let's see, wires are used to control the... A low-head dam is a barrier across the width of a body of water that alters flow characteristics of water. Oh, I've seen these. Okay, I didn't know they were called that. Interesting. Every day you learn something new. Neat. Alright, let me get back into it. Let's follow him. I'm worried about where he might wander. Never mind, he's not getting away that easy. I think I'll leave him to you, Lucy. Cecil gives me a sheepish smile and ducks away. I forgot something earlier, so I'll stop by town to fetch it. Don't wait up for me. Oh my gosh! Asterix!
You know what cures vampirism? Walking more than 50 feet, Kappa.
I feel like I'm dumb and I'm missing a joke here. Thank you for the resub though, Asterix, for 36 months. That's super kind of you. I appreciate it a ton. Hope you're having a good night. Oh, Curse of Strahd. Fuck, I'm stupid. I'm dummy. Listen, next time we're gonna walk more than 50 feet. Next session we're gonna walk more than 50 feet for sure, and maybe we'll even see Strahd. Maybe we'll even see Strahd. I actually don't know when Strahd comes in. I've heard that can be very much up to the DM, so I guess it's more up to you than me. So if we don't see Strahd, I'm blaming you, Asterix. And the demo's good so far. It's interesting. I'm enjoying, like, the character designs are really nice. I like the art style a lot too. And it's like, you know, a Victorian murder mystery, which I am always super down for. So I'm like, it's a fun setup for a visual novel to go on, especially when you bring things like vampires into it. I always like supernatural murder mysteries are always interesting because it's neat to see how like the rules of supernatural or fantasy like worlds kind of interact with the mystery genre when you try and combine them. So I'm interested in seeing how that goes. I'm definitely keeping an eye on that. Let's check notes sometime. All right. Hopefully soon. I'm waiting for it. I want to see. I want to see. For a demo for a VN, how does that usually work? Usually it just like lets you read a certain amount of like the visual novel, probably from the start. Depends. Sometimes you're just in the common route. Sometimes it's only like the first chapter of the common route. Some demos might even let you a little bit into like a specific path. They vary a lot. A lot of them it's just like wherever the dev felt like was the best spot to, you know, kind of cut it in order to leave people interested. I've played a couple and like sometimes they let you like play around with different like routes and stuff or different scenes. Like I said, it really depends on the dev. I don't know exactly what this one's looking at like, but they've already let me make 2 choices. So I'm like, there might be some variation within here. But yeah, usually you are not playing super far into the story. Usually you're just getting a taste of the first couple hours at best. But yeah, we have our girl here, Lucy. She's technically a vampire, but she's taking some medicine that she has and that she is trying to sell in order to turn herself back into a human. She's taking some business classes, and her potential business partner got probably murdered. And he turns out to be the father of one of her classmates, so that's what we're doing. Yeah, just enough to get you hooked. Exactly. What did you forget? I can lend you my books if you need. I don't think Cecil is even listening by now. Is he anxious about excavating Elm's family secrets? Oh, there he goes too. He hurries away, waving an apology as he goes. Wait, Cecil? He doesn't wait though. There was soot on his knuckles, and that closes off any room for doubt. He's absolutely hiding something, and knowing Cecil, he's liable to get in over his head before he realizes he should ask for help. Yeah, it's always fun in visual novels. I love seeing characters zoom in and out of, like, frame when they're, like, running away. It's always good. Well, I'm not about to let him leave at that. Accepting that I can see Elm already making his way into the hall. If I lose sight of him now, I may not be able to find him again until the day after tomorrow. Ooh, another choice. I am curious about Cecil, but we're locked in on Elm. Eyes on the prize, baby, eyes on the prize. As much as I'd like to know what's got Cecil rushing off so suddenly, I know he'll tell me in time. Elm, though. He should only be a few paces down the hall, and he isn't even walking quickly, but every step toward him feels like I'm walking through lapping waves. I'm anxious. I was too focused to notice it sooner, and now I've only got the span of a few yards to think of what I'll say. I need to know why he's kept his twin's existence a secret, but what do I say to someone who's lost their father just 2 nights past? Wait, where's he gone? Oh, did we lose him? I only hesitated for a moment. He's probably on his way back to his manor, right? Elm? Elm? Man, we keep losing this guy. Why is he so sneaky? Maybe he's a secret vampire, I don't know. No reply, though I expected as much. Blow is flash stepping. He misty stepped. I'm not in shoes built for sprinting, but I can manage 100 yards at least. I recall the directions Rowan gave me well enough. I should be able to follow the roads there and catch Elm along the way. Unless he's running at a breathless pace, I should at least be able to catch sight of him before he shuts himself away, and I can easily keep up this moderate pace for longer if I need to. But I don't. There's no reason to keep running. I move past a pair of sullen, downcast faces beneath a blooming lilac arbor, and I stop. I'm not out of breath, but I still feel my pulse quicken. I sit down beside the stoic marble bust of one of the university's founders on a short pedestal, and I look up through the vines. Oh, sneaking. Perhaps Ambrose was right. There are things I might miss if I rush too quickly straight ahead. Flowers here are lovely. They only bloom for a day or two. Be gone once the storm passes through. Beside me, Elm's face is just as graven as and dark as the statues keeping watch throughout the garden. His voice doesn't carry a tremor, and it's softer than usual. Almost weary. Shame, then. I'm sure Ambrose wouldn't mind if we cut a few to keep before the wind carries them off. Whether the headmaster minds or not, I don't think your brother would let you steal the gardener's shears again. Next thought doesn't form completely in my mind. Elm and I both linger uncomfortably for a moment. Elm tenses briefly as I reach up. For now, I'll have to do without asking about Rowan. I pinch the stem of a lilac high on the arbor, twist it swiftly and snap it off the vine. I offer it to Elm, rightly proud of myself. I don't need to steal anyone's shears, fortunately. It seems you don't, Lucy. He's smiling, at least a little. Which is significant for someone like him. Aw, fuck. He is my type. No! So, Elm takes in a slow breath. You heard that my father died the night before last. Yes, I'm sorry. No, it's not. I didn't expect it. I thought it wouldn't happen for decades more. That's the opposite of what Rowan said. Interesting. My father wasn't the most present man. He worked from before sunup to long after sundown, week upon week. He especially threw himself into work over the past several years. I always thought he would work away his grief in time. Oh, his grief! I wanted to talk to him. It was today that we were supposed to meet. You don't have to say any more than you'd like. If you do want to talk about your father, though, I've got a better set of ears than the Founders. I tilt my head toward the marble bust beside us, and Elm chuckles lightly. They are attentive, at least. I am already liking this dynamic, though, loosing Elms back and forth. You do get the vibe that these are, like, they're good friends who, like, understand each other pretty well. And that's always nice to see. It's important with, like, a character dynamic setup like this. You want to really sell that feeling. With some effort, Helm rises to his feet and accepts the lilac I plucked as he does. The sight of him bringing the petals up to his nose, smiling at the scent, and then placing the flower in his breast pocket is unexpectedly beautiful. I'm sorry I've been avoiding you and Cecil lately. Would you like to walk with me for a while? What? Oh yes, by all means. Thank you for the flower and coming to find me. I hope you didn't expect I'd let you languish here on your own. Cecil would have come with me too, but he had something urgent to attend. Something I'm going to ask him about tonight. Why did he rush off like that? And these vines are so old and well tended, I doubt even a hurricane could stop them from blooming year after year. If only it were that easy for us. You can hear bitterness pulling down Elm's quiet laughter. We walk on through the garden, and soon through the university gates and into town. And that's where that fiddler was. I take Elm's arm once we're in the midst of the afternoon crowds. He's always a little stiff in these moments. I think he's never been accustomed to human touch. Oh no, he's touch-starved! That's crazy. He's told me that he doesn't dislike it in theory, but when anyone else touches his arm or shoulder, it makes him keenly aware of his own body in a way he's rarely pleased with. I suppose I can understand. I've heard some people experience this when they turn into vampires and suddenly have a heightened awareness of themselves, including any misgivings or anxieties they might have. In Elm's case, though, I always wonder if it wasn't just that he spent so much time in his own mind that he rarely gives his body a second thought. Time slips by us slowly, as if we're swimming against its flow, walking slowly as the sun drops toward the rooftops of Laurenburg. Once 3 summers passed, Cecil and I walked with Elm through these streets. I forget if we even had a goal or if we were just enjoying a carefree afternoon browsing the storefronts and window displays. We stopped by a clockmaker, one of those old shops with yellowed windows and a faded sign above the door. The brass handle on its entrance was smooth and worn from the weight of thousands of hands. Elm stood there, transfixed and singularly focused on an open pendulum clock with its shifting gears. A small city moved around its base with porcelain carriages and ladies beneath lace parasols shifting at each quarter hour. Look at it, you two, he barely spoke above a whisper. Isn't it wondrous to see every part laid out and fitted together so finely? Cecil eagerly agreed, and the two spent a fair while excitedly chattering about the marvels of precision engineering, though Elm didn't seem as taken with the fine embellishments. Rather than the decoration on each piece, Elm stared at the whole mechanism as if he were gazing at the night and mapping every star. That's really poetic, I like that line. It's laid out and plain to see, every piece and part in harmony. I can almost hear his words from all of those years past clear as the chime of that clock. He's certainly a strange fellow, but a reliable friend and a steady presence. Perhaps that's why seeing him so shocked has left me unnerved as well. Ahead of us, a young couple walks away from an alleyway stall with absolute glee. A middle-aged man with a brilliant sapphire necklace and matching cufflinks is waving goodbye to his last customers and beckons Elm over with the same motion. His table is full of rings and pendants all set with enormous gems, which is why I'm confident he's a thief or counterfeiter. Yes, welcome. You two seem to be enjoying yourselves, so why not get something for your bow there? My jaw nearly drops, but mostly because the quality of the gems in front of me. There's a topaz nearly the size of my thumb and without a single impurity. I would, but I forgot my wallet. A blatant lie. And why did he think I was the bow? Oh, come on now. You might think these are a prince's treasure, but I assure you they're more reasonable than you expect. You see, sir and madam, these are all reconstructed rubies. We've concocted them in test tubes and grown them to tremendous size, all for less than a miner's monthly wage. Thank you, but we'll be on our way. Reconstructed rubies? Ah, caught your eye? Yes, you see, these are a marvel of modern scientific ingenuity. I'm familiar. Elm, I've borrowed a book on the process if you'd like to see it, back at the campus library. They are lovely. Oh no, it looks like he's taken with a pair of ruby hairpins and hasn't caught my meaning. Elm, no! Yes, indeed, a pair of identical hairpins. See how finely the silver filigree fits embraces the precise cut of the ruby, like stars blossoming on a vine. The perfect gift for a lady with beautiful hair. Truly a lovely set, wouldn't you say? Hey, Snom, welcome in. How you doing? Good to see you. We're watching a boy get scammed, probably. They'd be lovelier if one of them wasn't fake. I thought I'd muttered under my breath too quiet for anyone but Elm to hear, but judging by the color now draining from his face, I must have been louder than I intended. The vendor squints at me and leans far over the table, thrusting the hairpins toward me. Young miss, why not try them on? No, thank you. Wait, the gems may well be synthetic, but the settings here are finely crafted, and that's a high grade of silver too. The ornamentation on one hairpin is worth more than he's charging for the pair. Lucy? I see, yes. You're taken by their beauty as well, aren't you? Go ahead, try them on. I guarantee you, I've got the finest synthesized gems in all the city. No, you haven't. What was that now? Just as I thought, his cheery demeanor only held up while he thought we might still be gullible. He's treated out his honeyed flattery for a sailor's rasp. Unfortunately for him, I've spent weeks reading the latest chemical research into synthesizing gems. Unfortunate for both of us, really. He's either a thief or a counterfeiter, and either way he's drastically overestimating how large synthetic gems can grow with the latest techniques. If I'm not mistaken, I think some of these pieces are worth far more than you're asking. You should get them appraised, otherwise I'm afraid you might be losing a fortune. Thank you for the offer, but we'll be on our way. Elm has shaken out the distraction on his face and shoots us a sharp glance at the vendor before we walk away. Now, you listen here. Ow, he's grabbing my wrist with a vice grip. Oh, that's scary. I heard you slander my goods. Apologize. Should I apologize for being too generous? Clearly, you don't know what you've got your hands on. Let go of her. Elm immediately wrests the man's arm away and stands between the two of us. It's amusing to see the older man shrivel under Elm's gaze. I didn't realize he could be so intense if I'm being honest. Ooh? Ooh? They stare one another down for a moment before the vendor, or a thief more likely, lowers his hands and steps back. Lucy, let's go. Yes, and quickly. That was pretty cool of him. That was pretty cool of Elm. Elm turns down the street, and I glance back at the likely thief as we go. I notice the glint of a blade when he's already rushing up to Elm. Oh my god, this escalated. This escalated really fast. Watch out! Man lunges and Elm pushes me aside. A guttural shout fills the alley and— No! Elm staggers. He's holding the man back as he winces in pain. He looks over to me and my blood chills until I hear the metallic clatter of the knife falling against the pavement. Apologize, you brats! It's magnificent to watch in a way. Elm twists the man's wrist around, cinches an arm behind his back with those tacky sapphire cufflinks shining in the afternoon sun, and chops him away with indifference. He makes it look almost effortless. He kicks the knife into an open sewage grate and hurries over to meet me. I'm desperate to get back to the shade of the campus gardens. Whoa, Elm kinda crazy? Elm kinda crazy for that? Oh. Well, that's more activity than I expected for an afternoon. Are you alright? Are you? I was worried you'd been stabbed. Elm glances down at himself as if he hadn't thought to check until now to see if there was blood blooming on his shirt. He seemed to be fine. He had a poor grip and I'm not sure he wanted to hurt me, only intimidate us. He could have killed you. He deserves nothing more than an imprint of the street on his face. He was trained by Luke. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, just 1 second here. Alright, and thank you. I may have antagonized him too much. Not that he had an even temper to begin with. Hope you're all having a nice evening. Had a spike of anxiety this evening, but it was a good day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Snom. I hope things get better from here. We're just having like a chill visual novel reading stream, so hopefully this can be a nice place for you to come and chill out a little bit. Yeah, sorry you had a rough day. Hope you do better. Elm smiles back at me just for a moment before a thought distracts him and pulls his attention away. The street vendor couldn't possibly have had an actual synthetic gems, could he? He's likely guilty of more than just a momentary outburst in any case. Those were lovely hairpins, though. Suspiciously lovely. Those gems were clearly fake and he admitted as much, but the settings were genuine. What was his game? I haven't heard of any schemes of that sort. Perhaps Ambrose or Nemo might have heard something about this? Sorry, I'm getting some important messages here on the side. I can't leave them. We're finally back in the campus gardens, thankfully. The cool breeze and gentle shade are a relief. Elm's still quiet. He's been staring into the distance for some time now. Well, shall we return inside then? My family. I haven't had the best relationship with the rest of my family for a few years now. It's nothing intriguing or scandalous. My father devoted himself to his work above all else, as I said, and since my mother died, he's barely shared a living space with me, let alone a meal. Sorry. I'm just pushing my caffeine tolerance and some mild discomfort. Oh yeah, caffeine can definitely add to anxiety. It can do that. It's hard. Gotta find a good balance. But yeah, I hope things look up, man. Elm's eyes dart away as if he can't help but glance toward the forest on the horizon. He's a fine person. His voice is clearly strained. There's more to this, of course, but I don't want to press him further right now. I may have been too aggressive in questioning him this morning, too focused on the shock of learning Douglas's death and Elm's relation to him, too oblivious to the pain it was causing Elm. I'm sorry for not telling you about them. It's well within your right. You don't have to say anything more if you'd rather not. He nods slightly, and for a time we simply stand beneath the arbor of the blossoms. Tomorrow I'll meet Rowan and discuss a potential business partnership. I should likely ask around about that strange vendor too, in case there's something stirring the city's jewelry market. For now, however, I can't seem to focus on anything but the odd distance in Elm's face. It's as though he's gone away and let himself hear while he visits a memory. Bell chimes and signals the top of the hour, breaking us both free from the garden's calm. I've got to prepare for my meeting with Rowan, still, and I'm curious to hear if there's any word on why the Coppers are so interested in Douglas's death. I've got another class, Lucy. His hand slides over mine as he gently pulls his arm away from me. Thank you for finding me here today. Of course. I must look like an utter fool, being flustered so easily. Elm's voice is so soothing I almost forgot myself for a moment. I've got preparations of my own, so we'll speak again tomorrow. Take care, Elm. He nods, though I'm not sure he heard me completely. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just BRB quickly. I've got to handle an IRL thing really fast. I'm sorry. If it weren't important, I wouldn't be stepping away, but I'll try and, get this figured out real fast. Just give me a few, you guys.
Your right seems so
Hey guys, I'm so sorry about that delay. Thank you for being patient. I appreciate it. Hey, Nino under the bridge. Yeah, I went for a little bit of an extended swim by accident. Welcome in though. Hope you're enjoying your night. And Rooftop Nuna, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hope things have been good. Welcome in. Yes, I'm back. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I apologize. Can't talk about it, just some IRL stuff popping up that's important. I needed to dedicate my attention to it. Didn't think it was fair, either to stream or to the IRL stuff to be hopping between, so I was like, okay, this just needs my full attention. But we're good. Everything's good. Let's get back on into this visual novel. I really did like that scene with Elm, though. He is hitting a lot of points for me. He's hitting a lot of points for me, so I'm like, okay, yeah, looks like in the full game, Elm Root could definitely be where I'd want to go first. The other guys are interesting to me, though. They're definitely very, very interesting. I'd like to learn more about all of these characters. Night falls quickly and then seems to stretch on for ages, though Ambrose's dinner of kokavin and beyond my hurried scrawling on ledger paper in the low lamplight. I fall into bed just before midnight with very little to show for the hours I spent poring over my correspondence with Douglas. My mind keeps wandering as I read his letters again, as much to Elm and his grief as to the strange suddenness of Douglas's death. And if that weren't enough to contend with, the odd wares from that vendor this afternoon still bother me a good deal. Focus. I need to clear my thoughts or I won't be prepared for negotiations with Rowan tomorrow. I can only hope that sleep finds me soon. Oh, me every night, girl, me every night. Oh shit, we were right at the end of the demo. Ooh. Alright, thank you for playing the demo for Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea Amaranthine Moon. If you want to help improve the final game, fill out our demo survey. It's anonymous and helps us a lot. Ooh. I mean, you can also support our development by signing up for a newsletter or wishlisting this game on Steam. Either way, thanks for checking out our demo. You know what? We still got some time. Time to play some Uma Musume. I should have made a save at the choices, but I think we're gonna zoom through. And we're gonna we have some time, so we're gonna check out what other choices are in the demo. We'll try seeing what the dialogue is for not taking the pill. I'm like, we might as well explore it fully. I'm feeling that. I think we have enough time to. I pick up the half-full bottle, shaking it gingerly. The emerald pills are small enough to go inside a ring. I push the bottle into my nightstand's drawer. Nemo won't notice immediately if I haven't taken any because they're so small, but he'll notice eventually. What's so wrong with being a vampire? It's not like I'll age so much slower than everyone else. It'll only be at half the rate. Nemo chose to be with Ambrose despite him staying a vampire. He should be fine with me deciding to be a vampire too. I take one last glance at the bottle as I stand. There are many people still skeptical about the treatment, but... Oh, let's see. Yep, this is... We've seen this. Okay. Zooming past. I think when there's just the... Oh, hey! Okay, perfect. The skip stops for new dialogue. Love that. Perfect. I can already feel my senses sharpening again. I wasn't expecting my vampirism to return so quickly, but at this rate perhaps it would only take another few days before I could use my blood arts again. That would be more than enough to prove that I'm myself a vampire, and then... Oh, interesting, so there are effects immediately if she stops taking it. It's brighter than I expected. Nearly as bright as it was in my childhood. So maybe the sunlight's affecting her a little bit more? Interesting. That's a little bit more variation than I expected immediately just for not taking the pill. Alright. We're gonna make a save slot. Sheesh. We'll kind of go down the list. We'll start with the Cecil answers. We'll start with exploring the Cecil options. I find myself thinking of Cecil's expression from the previous night. Now that I think about it, that isn't the first time I've seen him looking wistful or wayward as he takes in the night air. I'd like to just sit him down and ask him what's going on, although I don't know what he'd appreciate in an interrogation while he's troubled by something. I'm not entirely oblivious, of course. I'm sure it has to do with his family and their business. I think he feels as though he's not fit for the task, but I know he can do it. In fact, I doubt he'll have any trouble at all outshining his parents. He's always so attentive and kind, two qualities his father and mother lack entirely. It's useless to keep fretting over this. I'll speak with him properly once things have settled a bit, once I've had more time to recover from the shock of today. Thinking any further will only tie my brain into knots, and I'm not the time to untangle that. More than that, even these thoughts can't keep the ghastly image of Douglas's lifeless face from intruding into my memory. Oh, yes. Creepy. Alright, skipping ahead. We're gonna follow Cecil this time. Helm is most likely headed to his manor, so I've no reason to hesitate. Cecil could be caught up in something dangerous, and if not, he needs to answer for himself, ignoring me and running off like that. He's faster than I remembered. By the time I turn into the hallway, I can barely hear his footsteps fading in the distance. Not as though he can keep ahead of me for long. We both know all the shortcuts through campus, but Cecil doesn't have the nerve to jump from a second-story balcony. Oh, but I do. You know what? Love you, Lucy. You're great. A flawless landing and without a stained stitch on my dress. Cecil no doubt is impressed, judging by his slackened jaw. Oh, she's so funny. I love her. She's very, very good. Definitely don't mind, like, heroines who are a little bit more gentle or passive too, but it's always fun having a character like this. Both are good in different ways. All girls good. All heroines good. Lucy, what are you doing here? That's dangerous! And how much more dangerous is it than whatever you're getting up to? I'm not doing anything dangerous. Cecil. His face relaxes and he ruffles his hair with one hand, more abashed and then evasive. I really did forget something in town. I only thought that you'd be following Helm and not worrying with me. I'll hear Elm out at another time. He did lose his father just last night, so I suppose I might have pressed him too hard. You're my best friend, Cecil. Did you think I wouldn't so much as ask when you rushed off like that? He offers me an arm. Shall we head into town then? By all means. And while you were waiting in the neighboring room, Lucy, what if the killer had been about? I hardly expect they would have given me a second glance. Rowan isn't convinced that his father was murdered either, so it's just as likely to be a case of the coppers leaping headlong into misapprehension. As I expected, Cecil's keen to hear every detail about Douglas's death and my prospective partnership with Elm's brother. For his part, Cecil tells me that he lost a letter he was carrying yesterday, and it most likely fell from his pocket when he cut through a back alley on his way home. Regarding the soot on his knuckles, Cecil claims he has no idea how that happened, and he seems sincerely distressed. It's just like him. It would be simple enough to wipe the ash away with a handkerchief and let the matter be forgotten. Cecil is my best and dearest friend. Even if he were keeping something from me, I'm confident it would only be something so small he never thought it worth mentioning. A quick pinprick of guilt sticks through the hem of my thoughts. I haven't told Cecil I stopped taking my pills yet, and I don't want to keep it from him for much longer. Ooh, there's stuff for here too. Calling it Jekyll and Hyde situation? Maybe. And hey, Kaze, good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Definitely could be something like that if he seems like, you know, something's going on with him, but he's not lying either, what's seeming like he's not knowing about it, because I feel like it can't be that simple to just be a misunderstanding, right? There's gotta be something they're building up to here. There's gotta. And Elm, I can scarcely imagine what led him to keep having a brother from us, let alone a twin. Taking a break from some studying burnout, oh fair, yeah, get yourself a little rest in, it'll be easier to go back to if you let yourself have a break for sure. It's easy to burn out, you don't want to push too hard or else you won't actually absorb what you're trying to study. Yes, looking back up now, he's always been hesitant to talk of his family. You think there's something treacherous about him? Elm is so considerate and gentle, I could imagine him distancing himself from his family if they were an unsavory sort. He must have had a reason for hiding that from us, and this business with his father's death makes it even more suspicious. There's a wealth of banal possibilities that could explain why he wouldn't want to talk about his family. Couldn't remember how to pronounce that word for a second. I suppose that's true. I hardly like talking about mine, after all. Cecil's smile carries an unfamiliar weight. I'll admit it's not always easy for me to understand what it's like to have a family so distant and cold as Cecil's parents are to him. Ah, poor guy. That is a rough situation to be in. His parents communicate through control, and if they hold any affection, they've never shown it. By his own admission, he's seen his nursemaid Alice more often than either his mother or father. Yeah, that's a rough situation to grow up in. Poor Cecil. Ever since we came to stay with Ambrose and my brother, he's had a measure of freedom. All apart from his coursework, he studied something what's necessary for him to take over his family business someday. Yeah, I'm sticking with my feeling that I think Cecil does not really want to be doing this. I think Cecil does not want to be taking over the family business. He's just doing it because he has to. Oh, here we are, Lucy. This is where I must have lost that letter. Here? Cecil, what were you doing here? He's leading us into a narrow alley, one not particularly well-trafficked nor convenient as a cut-through back to campus. It's quiet enough, partly filled with workmen's apartments and smaller shops with dust-caked windows and weathered signs. On closer inspection, several of these storefronts seem to be derelict, if not on their way to closure. It's no surprise, given that this is the side street of a side street some distance from the town square. I may have gotten a bit lost again. I don't know. Cecil, I think you got something. You're hiding something or something's going on with you, man. Yeah, no way. No. You've got a terrible sense of direction for someone with such good memory. They're completely different things. I can't remember the way if I've never been somewhere before. What sort of letter was it that you lost? Not sure. How's that? It's from my father. I hadn't opened it yet. Excuse me there, young sir. Psst. A tall, crumpled man with the countenance of a gaunt mouse calls to us, and I nearly smacked him with the back of my hand in surprise. Don't jump out of doorways and dark corners like that. I wouldn't have apologized if I had knocked his jaw loose. He looks meek, but not of meager means, and Cecil's fate lies with recognition. I love that Lucy's ready to just fucking be on the attack. Silas, I forgot that your laboratory was on this street. How have you been? Cecil, you know this man? What sort of laboratory would one keep in a back alley like this? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me introduce you both. Lucy, this is Mr. Silas. He's a chemist I met through my family's work. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Excuse my curiosity, but what business would a chemist have with a mining operation? Oh, magnitudes! It's nothing breathtaking, but there are several chemical processes used to easily separate certain ores and minerals from stone, or gather particulars of metal from a slurry. I knew that, of course, but I've only heard vague details. A friend of mine from the university was also studying to be a chemist. I should ask her about this when I get a chance. Yes, Silas tests new chemical solutions, and my father purchases the formulas sometimes. I ran into him while... Cecil hesitates briefly, his mouth twitching uneasily. Well, I was wandering around town a few days ago. It's incredible what you can do with a few vials of acid, really. Cecil, you're hiding something, man! You're hiding something! It is. Although expensive and, sad to say, a deadly hazard if you don't take precautions. I'm sorry if I startled you, by the way. I saw you both looking around and wondered if you might have lost something. Oh, that's right. Silas, have you seen a sealed letter around? I lost it coming this way last evening. Yes. In fact, I did pick up something late last night on my way home. I'm not sure if it's your letter, but let me fetch it for you. What a relief. Lucy, shall we wait inside? Oh no, you'd better stay out here. The vapors from my last solution are still clearing and you'll burn your eyes just standing around. I'll be back in only a moment, I promise. Yes, of course. Thank you, Mr. Silas. Gainly stalk of a man disappears into his sour-smelling apartment, and I notice Cecil peering inside as the door closes. You think he's alright in there? It smells like sulfur and death. I doubt it, but he seems to manage alright. Lucy, like, whatever. Excuse me there. Cecil and I glance over our shoulders to find a rough-looking man with an oversized jacket sauntering up behind us. I'm more than familiar with the signs of vampirism, and this man isn't exactly hiding any of them. He's clearly trying to intimidate us. My fists clench and I can feel my gloves stretch taut. What a petulant cad. You're both coming to collect from Silas too? You'd best wait your turn. He owes me first, and whatever money he's fetching for you high society folk will have to wait till he's settled up with me. Wait, he's only fetching a letter, I forgot. We aren't here for money or anything like that. Though I doubt you'd believe us. What does Mr. Silas owe you for in your account? I'm like his landlord, in a way. He works with noxious stuff. It smells absolutely sickening every day of the week. I do my part to keep the peace and shoo the vandals away. And a kindly leech such as yourself took it upon yourself to protect him from the threat of neighborly complaints. Yes, and if you've got issues with that... Of course we do. That's extortion. A violent crunching echoes in through the otherwise quiet back street. The man has slammed his fist into the brick wall between Cecil and myself, cracking the corner of the building and sending a few shards of masonry flying by my face. Oh, that's scary. Vampires strong confirmed, I guess. Shard of brick grazes Cecil's face, though fortunately he doesn't bleed. If this man had drawn Cecil's blood, I wouldn't forgive him. Ooh. Then I take it you'd like to contribute to his balance? I think we'll be closing the account. Memory is fallible, but some memories far less than others. Dates, places, people, and even secrets are all momentary compared to the ironclad memory in your muscle and sinew. Even after 5 years, and with my physical strength not yet fully returned, I know exactly how to use my power to its greatest effect. I don't need to think or prepare before sending the crude extortionist flying back with a swift knee and left hook. It probably helps that I've been getting into scraps and I learned some boxing in my spare time, but none of that bubbles to the surface as quickly as the memory swimming in my blood. Man staggers back, wailing as he clutches his left side and right shoulder. As I thought, he's already looking around for a convenient escape route. Let's go, Lucy. Clambers to his feet and bounds past a pair of workmen. Well, I'm not about to let such a villain run free. Come on, Cecil, let's go. But... He glances back at Silas's door for a beat before I grab his arm and hurry after the assailant. Lucy, you... Just run, we can talk later. I was worried for a moment that the ruffian might have put up more of a fight, but what a relief. The rude vampire was a brazen coward, scampering away with what I'd call an unbridled malice and a hint of humiliation in his eyes. I could catch him easily on my own, but I can tell Cecil's pushing himself and straining to keep up. Our hands are clasped tightly, just as when we were running through Laurenburg as children. We took around work ladders, slipped between carriages, and narrowly missed a bakery door flung open without warning. Past the teeming crowd, the road splits to the left and right to run along the steep wall overlooking a lower level of the city. Yeah, rip Cecil's lungs. Dude is probably, like, hustling. The extortionist leaps over the short fence and vanishes from sight. We'll need to hurry if we want to catch up, and I can't spare a moment to tell Cecil what's about to happen. Hopefully he has a strong grip. Don't let go of my hand. What? Humans could never hope to jump 40 feet or more down a sheer wall, but for a vampire it's a trivial exercise. Pulling Cecil up into the air, I catch him in my arms and leap clear of the short fence designed to keep children from straying too close to the sheer drop. Now that we're safely on the ground, I let him down and we both catch our breath. I scan the area quickly and prepare to take off again, but... seems that he's gotten away from us. There's no sign of our quarry among the dense afternoon crowds, and with dozens of shops and apartments around us, it would be a fool's errand to keep up the chase. Ah, dang it, I was hoping to see them beat him up. Cecil, however, hasn't been looking for the rude vampire. His eyes are fixed on me, and I know what he must be thinking. I knew I couldn't keep it from him for long, but I didn't expect he'd find out like this. Lucy, that's almost how you used to fight when you were a vampire. You've stopped taking your pills, haven't you? Ah! So I guess probably, like, both the Cecil and the Alm scenes can go differently, depending on if you're still taking the pills or not. That's my guess. Interesting. Yes. Or at least I skipped the last dose. Does that mean you've decided to be a vampire after all? Ooh. Let's make another save. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still not sure. It wasn't as if I planned to stop in advance. It struck me as I picked up my pills the night before last. Being a vampire wouldn't be a terrible thing after all, and I've waited until I'm a full adult so Nemo can't say a thing against it. But you still aren't set on it, are you? Cecil always knows what I'm papering over indecision with brashness. It's as if he can see through to my deepest thoughts, and even knowing what a mess they are, he still looks at me fondly. No, not yet. Not for lack of thought, though maybe lack of time to spend on thinking it over. You were impressive back there, and in our youth. Thank you, though being impressive from time to time might not outweigh other considerations. Well, either way, you'll still be impressive, I think. Whatever you decide, Lucy, we'll still be together, so don't worry too much. I'm curious, I'm not sure, is Cecil a vampire? Of course. A crack spreads across my heart. Cecil is being gentle, but it's challenging to consider his eventual death and the toll it will take on me. Oh, so probably not then. If I remain human, our time in this world will at least be similarly measured. If I return to being a vampire in full, however... Thank you. I'm sure you expected this, but you're the only person I've told so far, and I don't plan to tell anyone else just yet. Particularly Nemo. Not until I'm certain. That's sensible, especially if you change your mind. Whatever you choose, though, I'm sure we'll manage all right. Lucy, you've got such a head for business. I'm sure things will turn out incredibly for you. Well, of course they will, and you'll be along soon enough yourself. You're keen and intensely creative, so I'm sure you'll do well. I do wish. If I had even a fraction of the talent you do. What was that? Did she say something, Cecil? Oh, only that I think we should head home for now. I have a class later I should prepare for. Yes, of course. It was unmistakable just now. There is something weighing on Cecil, and I think the letter he dropped might have something to do with it. With no chance of finding the offending vampire, we quit the city center and head back for the university grounds. Cecil leaves for an evening class, and I return home to draft a few possible cost projections now that I can confirm 5 years of consistent dosage won't permanently reverse vampirism. I've also got to look over my letters with Douglas to prepare for my meetings with Rowan tomorrow. Let's see, night falls quickly and then seems to stretch on for ages, though Ambrose's dinner of kulkovin and beyond my hurried scrawling on ledger paper in the low lamplight. I fall into bed just before midnight, and at the edge of sleep, I hear the balcony door unlatch as Cecil steps outside. Interesting. We're gonna load this up and see the other options here. Just wanted to see how it felt again. I started wondering about it the other day and remembering how I felt when I was younger. I needed to know if that was just nostalgic daydreams or if I really preferred this to being a regular human. It does suit you. Cecil smiles brightly. Being able to leap so high and dispatch vagabonds with ease. Do you really think it's that impressive? Everything about you is impressive, Lucy. You're incredible. My heart flutters in my chest. I must be worn out from the chase still. Let's see. Okay. That's that version of the conversation. Ooh, no, we're not overwriting that save. We're loading. And I needed to see how long it took for the cure to fade. It wasn't planned, of course, but if I'm going into the business of proffering a way to reverse vampirism, I'd better know the details. In fact, it may be a bit concerning for anyone seeking a permanent cure that it only took a day and a half for my vampiric strength to steadily return. I hadn't considered that. In fact, it's been 5 solid years since you've started the treatment, and you say you only skipped a single dose? That's right, and better to know that in advance than find out from an irate customer. I don't have the full scope of my senses yet, mind you, and I doubt I could use any blood arts right now. But I'm also the first person, at least insofar as any of us could find, to attempt this. Could it be... Cecil screws up his face, pondering aimlessly as he catches his breath. You simply have to keep taking the emeralds indefinitely to remain human? There's certainly other illnesses where treatment lasts for the rest of your lifetime. Well, that may be true, and would be a boon to my future business, and it won't be easy to convince skeptical patients. In fact, I'm painfully aware of how similar it sounds to the Connors peddling turpentine and arsenic as miracle drugs in the square. The safety and ease of reversal are benefits, but the cost and need for absolute consistency. I'll have to draft a few more plans to account for this. So then, does that mean you're planning to take the pills again? Perhaps. I haven't decided yet. Maybe it would be prudent to keep testing this and see what else happens if I stop for a while. Alright, we got that. Let's do... How about we'll head back to day 2 and read these other 2 options. Quickly see if anything changes from picking them. And we'll also see if Elm's scene changes from not taking the pills. Maybe we'll also do Cecil's if you do take the pills. Why not? Rowan, at first I thought he and Elm couldn't be more dissimilar, but now I can almost trace the parallels between them. For all of Rowan's confidence and his cheeky retorts, I still can't tell exactly what was running through his mind. Elm is only impenetrable because he speaks so seldom and his face rarely betrays his inner thoughts, but with Rowan, I can't tell. Is he sincere in his compliments? Is he hiding in his grief, or has his father's death really left him completely unfazed? It's pointless to continue this. I'll only wear myself out running in circles and I'll get no closer to clarity. I'll see him the day after tomorrow, and hopefully by then I'll have had more time to recover from today. Alright. There we go. Skip ahead and just double check that we don't get anything new before the new choice. Alright. And we'll load one more time to Omens. And we'll think about that mysterious masked man. That fiddler in the town square was so enchanting. In the midst of a tumultuous day, that brief moment when I listened to their performance was a desperately needed respite. I'm shocked that I've never seen someone so skilled around the city before. Have they only arrived in Laurenburg recently? I haven't heard of any new performing troupes or orchestral companies passing through. I suppose they could be a lone traveler, though. That mask they wear isn't common either. I wonder if... No, that's enough. I can't while away the night daydreaming about handsome musicians, for heaven's sake. If I'm fortunate, perhaps I'll hear their music again. For now, though, I should rest and recover from today's events. I don't know, his hair looked a little bit similar to a certain guy. Well, 2 certain guys. They push it back. Alright. We're gonna make one new save here before we go back to the main menu. We start from the beginning. I'm thinking, since I'm most drawn to Elm, we'll end off on his scene. But we'll start next. We'll see how Cecil's changes when we've taken the pills. So we'll zoom right ahead to that, because now I'm curious. I hadn't expected the taking or not taking the pills to have such immediate effects, so it's kind of very interesting that they do. Like, that I could definitely see how things could branch significantly, even within the roots. Let's see. Almost there. Okay, now we'll follow Cecil. Oh, okay, yeah, she jumped off that second story, and a quick enough landing, but not one I want to repeat. The pain shooting up through my legs reminds me too cleanly that I don't have the same strength I did as a vampire. Okay, so that hurts more if we're not doing that. That's crazy. Makes sense, but it's kind of funny. Okay, we talked to Silas. Ooh. I can still remember the flash of light I saw once, long ago when we were children. Brilliant emerald light that could scald my skin and burn my eyes. That light is coursing through my veins now, as it has been for the last 5 years. I haven't tested it lately, but practical applications are always the most useful trials. I ripped my glove away and shoved my bare hand into the vampire's face, covering it with the flat of my palm. So I guess this is what she's doing instead of vampire kick and stuff. Ugh! Man staggers back, wailing as he clutches his forehead in agony. As I thought, he's already looking around for a convenient escape route. He clambers to his feet and bounds past a pair of workmen, while I'm not about to let Chavillain run free. Okay, come on, Cecil, let's go. But... He glances back at Silas's door for a beat before bolting along after me. Lucy, shouldn't we call the police to... Just run, we can talk later. I was worried for a moment that the ruffian might have put up more of a fight, but what a relief! The rude vampire was a brazen coward, scampering away with what I'd call unbridled malice and a hint of humiliation in his eyes. Although he's faster than the both of us, he's uncoordinated and doesn't seem to know where he's heading. For Cecil and I, it's like chasing a hare who keeps running in circles. That said, even if we do know the streets of Laurenburg by heart, I don't think I'll be able to keep this up for long. Cecil's running ahead already, and I can feel my legs beginning to ache. My speed and stamina aren't what they were 5 years ago. Makes sense, we can't, can't get, run as fast. Left up ahead. Got it. Cecil turns after our quarry up ahead and then looks back to me with a furrowed brow. Are you sure he went this way, Lucy? Cecil pants as he forces out each word. I don't see anyone here. I saw him go right... An empty alleyway full of open windows and half a dozen doors stands before us. I strain my eyes to find any trace of the vampire's path, but I can't tell where he might have gone. Well, with that settled, shall we return to campus? Yes, I think that's enough running for me today. We finally slow to catch our breath just inside of the campus gates. I'm completely winded, and Cecil's still panting as he wipes the sweat from his brow. Honestly, I could do with a more mundane afternoon after these past 2 days. Lucy, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine, apart from the ache I'll have in my legs tomorrow. Poor Silas, I'm just glad we were able to chase that ruffian away. I hope he doesn't harass him again. Lucy, do you think we should call the police? I don't expect they'd be of much help in this case. Where did Silas go, for that matter? I was wondering that too. I'm sure he's safe since he was inside. I'll go check on him tomorrow to be sure. Cecil's smiling and adjusting his glasses as he always does, but my eyes keep on catching his fidgeting hands. Is that letter still wearing on his mind, or is there something else bothering him? A bell chimes the quarter hour. What time is it now? I've completely lost track. Oh no, I've got another class soon. Lucy, I'll see you at dinner tonight. Yes, unless I'm still sorting through all of my plans for tomorrow's negotiations. Okay. So... Yep, that's the variations there if you're not becoming a vampire. Okay. Let's head on back then and let's see the vampire version of Elm's scene. I'm sure it'll probably change when the vendor grabs onto her arm. Alright, yep. So when Elm's about to get stabbed. Elm hasn't noticed the vendor charging, and I expect the older man thinks he'll catch us out easily. I think Elm suffered enough recently, and this shoddy cad could stand to suffer a bit more. Whoa. I don't have my full vampiric strength back just yet, but I should be more than quick enough to twist the knife from his hands. Ugh, let go of me! And more than strong enough to throw him through that collection of stolen baubles he's trying to peddle. Sheesh, girl. Ah! I'll thank you not to trouble us further. Lucy, you... Wretch! Slanderer! I'll have the coppers on you! Not likely, considering how shady your own business is. Oh, she does not give a shit. He's still scrambling up to his feet and shouting, but I've already thrown his knife up onto a nearby rooftop, so I doubt he'll be much threat to us. Oh my god, girl. Pompous vampires, don't look down on me. In a bitter fit, he throws a large emerald brooch at me, and it hits my neck with a dull thud. I flinch, expecting a flash of light and a searing pain, but nothing happens. The brooch falls to the ground and the stone cracks on impact. Well, would you like me to ruin any of your other merchandise while you're at it? Leave me be, Richard Credence! Scrambling like a squirrel caught on slick ice. That's good writing. That's some good writing there. I like that image. The man scoops his wares into a satchel and rushes away into a nearby building. He's certainly up to no good, and I'd be remiss to let him go after hurling such a sharp brooch at me. That was heavy, you know. Come on, Elm. We can't let him get away. Wait. Just as I take off after the suspicious vendor, Elm grabs my hand to stop me. For a moment, I can't speak as we both realize how tightly our hands are clasped together. We separate shortly after, though it's hard to meet his eyes until we begin walking back to campus. Elm's footsteps are steady as a pendulum, but his face is nearly as easy to read as a clock. Does he also feel a faint warmth clinging to his fingers? Yeah! The sun is starting to singe my eyes, so I duck into the shade of a tree. Elm is staring at me, I realize. He's been staring at me for some time, and his gaze is almost as bright as the sunlight. What is it? Are you a vampire? Yes? I'm almost unsure how to answer. Am I a vampire right now? I know some of my strength is returning, and I can tell that my senses are sharper, especially with the afternoon sun feeling like a blinding flash out in the open. Is that all it takes for me to return to being a vampire, though? 5 years of steady doses with pure emerald pills, and then after missing just one, I already start to show signs of vampirism again. Is it vampirism glittering in sunlight true? The biggest difference. If that's truly the case, then I'll need to adjust my estimates for treatment plans. It may be more of a chronic condition that needs steady maintenance rather than a condition you can easily reverse or undo. And you've been all this time? You have been all this time. He sounds eager, almost excited. Oh, he's into it! I haven't seen him so wrapped in attention since he helped a professor explain the origins of modern economic models. I sigh to myself. It would be better to explain the whole of it to him. I see, you mentioned your work and business plans before, but I didn't know you were testing the cure on yourself. Hey, welcome back, Awesomer! No seductive neck bites yet, I am sad to report. If she could bite the guys next, that would be pretty sexy, I'm not gonna lie. Just a little idea I'm throwing out there. It was my brother's idea, though now that I know just how quickly the effects can fade, I might thank him for being so insistent. Yeah, we did throw down with the best of them, it's true, it's true. Oh, was this testing? This? When you didn't take your last pill, was that part of your test of the treatment? Jarrell, thank you for La Creature, and Perez, thank you for the head pat. Welcome in, you guys. Hope you're having great evenings. Good to see you both. Was it? What were my thoughts the night before last when I stared at my pill bottle before setting it back down unopened? Just popping in to lurk because it's bedtime. Oh, fair. Have a good sleep. Jarrell, thank you for coming in for the lurk. It's good to see you. Okay, so 3 options here too.
Hey Aqua, good to see y'all.
Hey.
Here, have some bits.
Thank you so much, Robsington! Good to see you, thank you! I'm having a good one. We're reading a vampire romance visual novel tonight. So I join in with Aqua wanting to bite guys. Well, I got this one emote. I got this one emote for a reason, you know? Where is it? There it is. There it is. What else is new? Wait, are you the vampire or some of the love interest vampires? We don't know if any of the love interests other than Cecil are vampires or not. Cecil appears to be a human. We don't know if Rowan or Elm are vampires or human or not. We don't know that about them. But the protagonist, the heroine, she technically is a vampire, but she has been taking some special medication to like basically turn herself back into a human. You can decide whether or not you keep taking it. And yeah, basically if you stop, then like pretty much the next day, she starts already getting some of her vampire powers back. Hey, Noise, see, I just finished baking some brownies. Now I got dishes, but it is what it is. Oh man, brownies sound delicious right now though. That's great. Doing dishes after baking always sucks, but it's kind of nice to like, you know, at least have the treat. At least you have that reward from when you're done cleaning up. But glad to hear you're having a nice time today. Let's go from the top down. I just wanted to see how it felt again. It wasn't anything as calculated as that. I was nostalgic for the time I spent as a vampire in my youth, so I stopped on a whim to see how it felt again. I can't say that I missed the harshness of the sun, though. Yep, homemade delicious brownies that made my house smell like chocolate brownies. Oh, I'm jealous. You're making me hungry. You're making me hungry just hearing that. Do you have fond memories of your time as a vampire in your childhood? That's not an easy thing to answer. Yes, I suppose? I see, He's staring at me so intently. Does he realize his face is getting so close? Yeah! It's fascinating. He's into it! He's into it! Ayo! There, he's backing away at last. For someone so quiet and solemn, he's surprisingly bold. He almost seemed entranced. Is he so fascinated by vampires, or just by me? I'm glad those synthetic gems didn't have a reaction to you, at least. This is how we're represented. Unbelievable. Dracula in Hotel Transylvania. That brooch would have left a terrible burn if they had. Yes, that was fortunate to say the least. Street vendor couldn't possibly have had actual synthetic gems, could he? He's likely guilty of more than just a momentary outburst in any case. Those were lovely hairpins, though. Oh yeah, we already read that. So okay, we're gonna load and see what happens if we say the other options to Elm. Can't wait for you to bite someone's neck in response they bite you back, not because they're a vampire, but as either self-defense or because they're a freak. I'm open to the latter. I'm open to the latter. Ah yes, the Kickstarter is not for me, but it is for the game that I'm playing tonight on stream. You can support them on Kickstarter. They have met their funding goal, but they're, the campaign is still going for another, like, just over a day. So if you like what you see here, yeah, check out that link in the pinned tweet to support the devs and help make the game a reality. I don't know. I'm still not sure, honestly. It was mostly on a whim that I decided to skip a dose, though I never thought the changes would be so quick. Is that so? I didn't even realize a cure would be so easily reversible. Yes, I suppose it makes sense. With other formulations that change your body or alter its systems, you often need to keep treatment up through most of your life. And is that truly what I want to do? Should I take my next pill, or should I stop altogether? I'll always support an indie. I'll be looking into becoming a backer. Hell yeah! I know, like, even the tier to, like, get a copy of the game when it's complete is pretty low. I think it's only, like, $15, which is not bad at all. So yeah, I'm like, it's pretty tempting. Pretty tempting. I see. And are you staring again? Okay, okay. Last option. Oh no, I overwrote the save! I made a mistake! It's fine, it's fine. We can get back there quick. Whoopsies. The demo isn't super long. Okay, we do not take the pill. We're gonna zoom through. I should have made another save. I should have been smart. Never played VNs before, so maybe they'll be my first. We'll see. My backlog is terrifying at the moment. Fair, there's always so many games, but I'm a big, like, visual novel enjoyer, so definitely if you ever want any visual novel recs, I am happy to give them. This has been a fun one so far. I'm definitely very interested in it, and I would love to play the full game when it's out. I'm interested to know where these characters, like, where their storylines are going, because they've dropped a lot of very interesting little hints and, like, things here and there. Make me curious what's going on. Make me want to go further. Alright, let's go with yes, I needed to see how long it took for the cure to fade. I needed to see how quickly the effects faded, or if they faded at all. I was half convinced that I would simply be a human forever, though apparently it's a more persistent condition than I thought. I mean, makes sense if being a vampire isn't something you just cure that quick. So you don't plan to remain a vampire then? I don't, do I? I haven't had the time to think it through properly, though maybe I should make the time sooner rather than later. Going through all the Sonic the Hedgehog games, oh, that's fun! Oh man, I've been considering playing some more Sonic later. Yes, you got Awesomer got some on my recommendation during the Steam summer sale. I hope you enjoy them, Awesomer. I could always take a pill tomorrow night to change back. I haven't decided yet. It's too soon to tell. I see, Oh, and then staring so intently. Alright! That's it. That's all the branches in the demo. So that was Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea. It is in the pinned message in chat, but I'm gonna link it one more time. If you guys have any interest in what you saw here tonight, go check out their Kickstarter here. Yeah, go support them. They have hit the funding goal, so the full game will be made. They also have it up on Steam, so you can wishlist or anything. They have a newsletter that you can subscribe to. Go consider checking them out. I have really enjoyed my time with this. I've got a big smile on my face. I love nothing more than a good otome, especially one with, you know, this kind of setting. Vampires, pretty boys. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. I've had a good time with it. And I want to say a quick thank you to the devs for at Crystalworks Games for inviting me to play this on stream. This has definitely been a fun time. I always love having a visual novel stream night. I need to do more of them. I seriously need to do more of them. They're always such a fun, good vibe. But okay, let's switch on over just a little bit here. We'll chat for a little bit. You're just happy that you get to go bite a bunch of guys. Listen, and it's nice that it's a possibility. Appreciate that it could be a possibility. You never know, you never know. But alright, yeah, we're running a little bit scheduleless this week, just because, yeah, stuff going on, starting the new job. I will try and let you guys know if anything in particular is coming up. Probably either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, I'm gonna be playing more Xenoblade Chronicles on my channel, probably beginning around 8 PM MST as usual. I will let you guys know for sure on my Twitter or in my Discord, which you guys can join or follow me on to get the latest updates. Those are probably the best places to go to keep track of when I'm streaming and what I'm streaming. So yeah, I'll let you guys know there, but definitely at least one more Xenoblade stream this week. Latter half of the week, I'm not entirely confident on what's going to be going on then, but I will try and keep you guys updated. Alright. Let's see, I am going to take a quick look at who is around to raid. Actually, I found somebody already. Okay. Vampires existed, but instead of hunting people in the night, they were in Red Cross blood donation centers. Conspiracy themed plays. That's crazy. Alright, let's raid my friend Chim. Super cool guy, plays lots of fighting games. He's playing some Under Night tonight. You guys have seen him in chat before. He always steals my wig when he comes in. Let's go see him with a little Biting Boys raid. There's the raid message if you are a subscriber and you have my emotes. If you're not a subscriber, no worries. You can use this version of the raid message. But we're gonna go say hello to Chim, checking out some Under Night. He's also a visual novel enjoyer, so I felt like it would be fitting to raid into him. But thank you all for coming out tonight. Hope you had a good time enjoying the reading. I had a lot of fun with it. And I'll see you in the next day or so for some more Xenoblade. Once again, check out that pinned message, open it up if you're interested in checking out Crimson Waves on Kickstarter. Definitely worth supporting. They're doing some good work here, and I'm very excited to see this game when it finishes development. I'm definitely going to be playing it. But, alright, I'll let you guys go. Have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you, and have yourselves a good one. Goodbye.